It's the Center Fantasy Football Podcast.
Welcome to the party, pal! Yes! Yes! Yes, this is my favorite part of the game.
Analyzing all of the league matchups week to week.
You can't win!
Get him a body bag! Finish him!
That is a bit above average.
I said this sucks, and basically so do you.
And discussing the boom, bust, and hidden gem players throughout the league.
We ain't found shit!
What the hell is Brett Favre doing here?
I'm in town to play the Dolphins, you dumbass.
Dan Marino should die of gonorrhea and rot in hell. Laces out.
Touchdown!
And here's your host,
Allow myself to introduce myself.
David Harbatkin. Hello and welcome to the Center Fantasy Football Podcast for Week 3 of Season 8. I'm your host, David Harbatkin, joined by Gazel Lutsky, the
What's up, everyone?
Yeah, the coach of the Hagglers. How did you? No comment. Yeah.
Apparently, there must be like 6 teams in Hackettstown. There's only me and Manny. Let's clear the air. No,
Gronky Kong does. Well, first of all, I'm still not convinced that Gronky Kong is actually a person. I just think it's Manny's alternate.
He created a burner team?
I think he created a burner team so that he can hoard quarterbacks. Is frankly what I'm thinking at this point.
No, he exists.
I still have yet to see it. You better be on this podcast at some point. I don't care if he comes in the form of Nick's children. What?
I'll tell him to come on and say hi.
Okay. And then, of course, we have Nick not showing his face up there in the right-hand corner.
Points,
What's going on, man?
There he is, the victorious coach of the Zamunda Lions.
A pretty good week.
Yeah, he had a decent week this week.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, not too shabby there. And then joined, of course, in the other corner by the commissioner of the league, the coach of the Hackettstown's finest, the victorious Hackettstown's finest, Mr. Manny Friedman.
What's up, guys?
All right. So we will have an interview with the coach, first of all, with our biggest fan and coach of Dave's Secret Crush later on in the show. Get your alarm clock ready for that. For afterwards, because you're going to fall asleep in the middle of the interview. But Nick is already
living proof of that.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we're into week 3 now. Obviously, there was a huge amount of injuries. I thought this was a fascinating week in terms of what happened on the waiver wire. I mean, first of all, after somebody spent $90 on Nyheim Hines, who knew what was going to happen in this waiver wire? We saw. I'm not very happy about what happened there with your imaginary team, but we can get into that later. We might as well go over last week's games first. So let's get it on the screen. Where should we start, gentlemen? Who wants to take the reins of last week's games that we're going to go?
Well, with our interview coming up with the coach, let's go right to the whooping. Let's go right to Hackettstown Hagglers versus Dave's Secret Crush.
Well, we can go. We'll go through your side because there's going to be a thorough analysis of what happened on Dave's Secret Crush side. So, what happened?
Well, Garoppolo was the original player, but he was dumped in favor of Mitchell Trubisky. It turns out they had the exact same amount of points. Sammy Watkins, he hit his head, is what we heard. So, once again, concussions come up, and nothing you can do about that. But I think he had 2.1 points at the concussion points, so it wasn't exactly too scintillating. And then Davis was great with 12 points. Dalvin Cook, I mean, what can I say about Kirk Cousins? The man is worth every penny of that $84 million the Vikings paid him. Hopefully they reanalyze that contract and get rid of him because he's horrendous. Costing Dalvin Cook. I mean, 17 points was a gift compared to the way Cousins played. I don't know if you guys have DirecTV and watched the Vikings game. Don't bother. I'll fill you in. Kirk Cousins threw a bunch of interceptions when he wasn't sacked. All right, let's move on to Melvin Gordon, who lost his starting quarterback as well, was knocked out of the game, still managed 16 points. Again, these guys are doing well despite no quarterback. And Thomas. I don't know his first name even. I don't even know why I played him. I read the Matthew Berry show, page 7. I should have read page 1. The Redskins are horrible. I'm sorry, the football team is horrible. And he's just as horrible. Adrian Peterson, need we say more? He's been a haggler almost, I think, ever since he came into the league.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's one of the oldest hagglers.
He is absolutely produced like a haggler, 4.1 points. Crosby, the kicker, probably outscored most of the other players on the team. And unfortunately, the football team that we paid $14 for was a laughingstock as was a performance. So it was a 59-point beatdown, as you're going to hear thoroughly from the other coach. So I'll give you the short version, as Mel Brooks would say. Let's move on to the next.
Yes, as you often like to say, it's no secret Hackettstown got crushed. All right, so moving on to the next game, where do we want to go from there, guys?
I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to stay on with you all.
All right, so
I may.
The 1 point guy, why don't we get you out of the way?
Yeah, why don't we get you out of the way? So the projection in this was 139.94 to 134.20. I mean, you exceeded projections. I could certainly say that.
Can you save me the beatdown of the week?
He had to be. All right. Well, all right.
Yeah, we won by 80. Was it 80?
He had to be the beatdown of the week. Yeah, the biggest blowout of the week. 201. Yeah.
Thank you.
82.
82. Ooh, shame on you, Lightning Rods. What happened?
Yeah. I don't know if you can blame this so much on the lightning rods as you can on Zamunda. You know, you do not think that would be too much? Why not go for a cool 200? Yeah, so, I mean, Nick, it's your team. Go.
Yeah, I mean, it starts like Thursday night. You know, obviously, I was saying this on the, I don't know what that portion was. I'm still surprised. I guess everything that transpired with Eugene, again, time I will not get back personally. I guess will be part of the next segment or a later segment of the show. But what I shared then was that, yeah, originally Thursday night, you know, Cincinnati's defense, you know, I stupidly took a defense that plays Thursday night, which almost never works out. You know, Beckham, you know, starts off well. So already I think I'm already a bit in the hole. And then going into Sunday, it's a question of just, you know, obviously who shows up.
And
know,
everybody else.
Cup
did.
Again. Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, Cup, it's still a lot of weapons, you know, for Los Angeles. So it's hard to say where that shows up. The biggest thing is I didn't realize. Well, I really wasn't paying attention to it, but you know, the Falcons Cowboys game. You know, one of two things ever happens is either both your players get completely just nullified, you know, by just just being canceled out because the game is competitive enough, or in the case of that game with a huge comeback, both players managed to go off. So early in the game, Ridley still, you know, their primary touchdown scorer because, as I've been saying, Julio's hurt. I think now it's official, which I think with a hamstring injury, he's actually probably not going to be on the field, which actually makes things worse for Calvin Ridley for next week going forward. But yeah, Ridley and Elliott just
probably makes him worse.
Well, in the sense
because
that,
he's going to be covered by the number one corner.
Yeah, exactly. Or they'll shade the safety over to him. So if anything, you know, if you have Atlanta's tight end, I actually think that would benefit anyone at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I had him.
Yeah,
he's of course on the Whalers now, because everybody ends up on the Whalers eventually. Because the man is just a raccoon sitting in the fucking trash can, waiting for you to drop it.
I have to thank you for taking him, because the Atlanta tight end was actually who I targeted in the auction. When he disappeared, you know, some fellow named Jonnu Smith was available, so I decided to go with him. And you know, he's gone off. You know, last week had a touchdown catch. This week had 2, becoming you know, one of Tannehill's, you know, favorite targets.
You're welcome. Whalers, you're welcome too. I'm the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. So I mean, just everyone basically just overplayed their projections. You know, I like Kyle. I said it last week. I mean, Kyler Murray was the quarterback I was hoping for. So, you know, getting him in the auction, obviously, and I think the second week in a row they've continued to play well. You know, Murray's early on having a year that we all saw Lamar have, in the sense of like just, you know, long runs for touchdowns, Just able to keep that offense on the field. Arizona is a legit team. I think they're going to be competitive in that division. I think it's really going to be between them and Seattle for who wins that division. And then obviously, so it's funny because at this point, going into Monday night, like we're done. I think we're at one. I forgot. Like we were playing from behind, and we finally, No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, we pulled ahead.
Won.
No, I got it mixed up with last week for some reason. But we go into Monday night, we're ahead, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so do I bench potentially Kamara just to be gentlemanly? Because I don't know I have a sense of what's about to happen with that bad Raider defense. But then suddenly Kamara in early on, it's 10-0 Saints. I'm like, here it is, Vegas' big home opener. They're going to lose. I'm already pissed off. I think I said this in our chat. I'm like, what? I hope Kamara goes off. Let's go over 200 because if my real team's going to lose, at least my fantasy team shows up.
And yet you got both.
I did. It was a wonderful night.
Also, never be a gentleman. Never be a gentleman in this league on the field. Ever.
Well, it is funny because there is a little bit of a college football element to this in that scoring does matter. So, so I think right now for the season, we're at 357 points. So I think we are far and ahead from from Lombardi's
I'm pretty
team.
sure you are.
Right. So
that's. Yeah, you're far ahead from. You're far ahead from Lombardi in terms of just the winning team. So if you look at, it does. I don't think it lets you do by points for over here. But 3, 4. He's not even the next highest. Oh God, is Eugene number 2?
It's by record. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. No, it's
points for 276. Eugene is number 2 in points for. Ugh. What is this? This whole show is just. Eugene. God.
Yeah. So it was a good week, but again, it's we see what comes ahead. I was impressed with Elliott doing as well as he did. Dallas getting the hole early. You think that they're going to throw it, and they did. But they did somehow go back to the run game. I think they partly knew that Atlanta is going to cough this up because this is not the first time the Falcons have shit the bed with a lead. And then, like I said, Kamara Monday night, they were playing. They surprisingly ended up playing from behind for most of the second half. So that's that helped him out obviously.
Jonnu Smith is impressive.
Yeah, he's becoming their number 2 receiver. I think that either AJ Brown's still hurt.
He is.
Corey Davis has always been a question mark since he's been drafted since 2017. So
I've had him
it's
so
not
many
reliable.
times.
Yeah, I think Smith becomes the target, and Deontay Johnson continues to impress. I think he's become now the targets leader for that team. I think early in that game against Denver, I think Schuster had a deep pass for a touchdown. Then later in the game, Johnson gets one. But I think he's emerging as almost like a wide receiver 1 from a target standpoint. So that's worked out well. And
even your young Ho. Even your young Ho got 17.
Listen, man. Like, right. I've said this years past, but like when you're, obviously this week the defense didn't show up, but when your kicker and defense are kind of what carries you. I said this about Jamel's team way back when, because there was a streak where he had like his defensive kicker were helping to win games.
I think that was the lightning rods actually. Ironically, I think it was actually the lightning rods last year with the Bears defense.
Right.
And I think hockey might have been sustained by the New England defense last year.
Yeah.
Because he had all the injuries go down, but
but for Atlanta, if you had any Falcon, on Sunday, that worked out, to your benefit.
Yeah, no, look, second greatest performance in league history, I believe. Certainly best performance in league, this year. Nothing else you could say. Just everybody except for Kupp and the defense met or exceeded their projections. It's just a massive horse whipping.
I think both of your running backs exceeds Miles Sanders by a country mile, and you'll
but you're doing this out of order. People are not even going to know what you're talking about.
Later on the show, you'll know what I'm talking about.
This is a Tarantino film. You stay around to the end, and then it'll all make sense.
Yeah, it's a little Easter egg for what's going on. All right, over on the Lightning Rods team, obviously Russell Wilson. He's almost on pace to become the MVP this year. He's been amazing in terms of fantasy points as well. Odell Beckham with 17. And then it's just a bunch of average stuff. So Zerline gets 11.80 for Smith-Schuster. Allen Robinson, do you think he gets traded?
I thought I heard allegedly he had a good conversation with Bears management. So
I
don't.
Okay.
But again, who knows? I mean, that's just maybe just kind of keeping things civil when they eventually unload him for like a third rounder.
That could be. All right. Hilaire, 13. So he came a little bit down from the other one. Singletary with 9.6. None of the Buffalo running backs are good. I think Zach Moss got passed around like a hot potato today, if I recall what was happening in the league dumpster. I mean, Hunt with 24. I mean, there's a lot of 97 points on the bench over here. Almost matched his his player total. Once again, yet another team that has two fantastic quarterbacks with one sitting on the bench. So he's got Matt Ryan getting 36.52 points there, and Russell Wilson with 43. Why not just have an extra spot on your bench? I'm gonna have a whole diatribe about you motherfuckers with your goddamn quarterbacks sitting on your goddamn bench, thinking that you're gonna get something out of it, and it's not gonna fucking happen. I'm telling you that right now. But okay, keep it up. Anyway, anything else?
Play the wrong one.
Anything else about these teams? I don't know. I mean, look, Zamunda.
Yeah, I mean.
No, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is like it's the second week in a row. Robbie Anderson has played well, and obviously right now, I would say.
What team is he on?
Carolina.
Do you think he's going to get more carries now that what do you call it? McCaffrey's gone? Yeah. Would you say that he's going to get more carries than anybody else, or more touches, or more fantasy points?
I think he's going to do better than DJ Moore.
Do you?
I'll put that out there.
We're putting it out there.
Yeah, I don't. It's tough because I don't. There's really just currently the team's well, and especially the receiver position. There's no place to put him right now. So but I have no interest in again we got bye weeks coming up and guys can get hurt, so there's no reason to move him anytime soon. But that's really the only guy. It's the only guy on the bench. It's funny. I've been trying to be busy on the waiver wire, but I keep getting outbidded. I got outbid from Washington's defense last week, which obviously didn't work out.
It's ridiculous.
I was trying to get Deion Lewis. I think Lombardi got him for $35. So
I don't know. We'll go over that.
I think your starting lineup is like probably far and away, the best there is in the league. But I think you have a little issue with the lack of depth in your bench. So. And you've been lucky that you haven't really been hit by the injury bug yet, so.
That's the thing. You made a joke about, not playing at MetLife Stadium, and that is, I think that's the case for, well, at least until Zeke comes, I guess. But, for the most part this year. So, this weekend hurt a lot of teams. We were winning is always nice, but at this point, you just try to stay healthy. So it's 2-0, and Gronky's trying to load up on quarterbacks like it's a 2-quarterback league. It's not. So I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what we're going to see next week, but 2-0. Move on to Gronky.
I have the opposite issue that you do. I mean, we'll get into my game later, but I think I have a lot of depth on the bench, but I don't know who to play. During the game, because everyone can kind of go for a big game, But
let's just say when you have 201 points, I think there's a little room.
Make all the right moves this week.
You also have a little room in case anything happens to have to maybe not.
But we were blasting him for not playing Robbie Anderson instead of Johnson. Johnson had the more points, so hats off to you, Nick Saveri. Well played,
Johnson, Johnson's speed's impressive. They throw the ball around. It was interesting to see it come down to, seeing Johnson and Schuster face off against one another. I thought was going to be a big part of the game this weekend, and seeing that Johnson gets, wins that out. Yeah, I think he's just going to continue to be the target leader. He's an underneath guy. He's going to get a lot of balls from Ben, and I think I forget who they're playing this weekend, but yeah, they remain competitive. He's been a good surprise. Again, one of those guys that at the auction we got super late. He may have been. I'm pretty sure it had been $1 because I was basically down to that for the last, I think, 8 or 9 roster spots I had to fill. So
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think he's as good as Fuller and AJ Green. I mean, that combo, I don't think that,
funny
but
enough, that was the trade that was offered to me.
I'm aware. Trust me, I'm aware.
How do you offer someone who had a donut the previous week?
That's what I'm saying. I was trying to look. We have some foreshadowing here, but the idea is you sell high. Like you sell after a good week. like it's insulting when you are peddling somebody after having zero. But you know what? Whatever. I don't want
to do your research.
It's like listening. Yeah, it's like listening to a certain political party. Like, why do you always go to the worst possible message that you could possibly have instead of like just being like, hey, you know what? Here's an easy slogan. No, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So let me sell this as the worst possible part, but say, well, if I sell, that's not really what I mean. What I mean is, look at this guy's going to be great if he's not injured, and even though he's missed, 90% of his last few seasons, he's constantly has a hamstring, groin, everything in. Look, he can be great. What did he do last week? He got zero. Well, you got to think fourth. You got to think fourth dimensionally. You got to think well past this. Don't even bother.
Dimensionally.
Look, I know. Look, you don't have to. I got news for you. You don't have to. If you were going to trade Jonnu Smith right now, you don't have to sell somebody on him. I mean, you might have to do a little bit to go like, all right, it's going to be consistently like that. But I mean, you could at least come from a place of a bargaining place of strength, not where you just laugh at somebody. Same thing with Johnson. It's a good bargain. Like now is when you want to sell him when he's doing well. If you're going to sell him. But if you have confidence in him, then obviously you're not going to get rid of him. And that doesn't mean that you could just throw any old garbage out there and say, well, he had a good week. He had one good week. Like he's going to blow up.
Right.
I mean, there's more into. I don't think we will get into this part, but like, there's no hard and fast rules. I don't think when it comes to trading. I think there's generalized things of what you do, but like each individual situation is different. But there are some insulting trade offers. What else? All right. Moving on to the next game. Where would we like to go? Unless nobody has anything else to say about this game, right?
Well, do we go to Tillet? I mean, they came off. They were the first place team last week, and then like we talked about this before. Like it's an unpredictable game. So yeah, an underperformance this week against Mandy's team.
Yeah, so 122. So the original projection was 127.69 to 134.95. This is a game that actually had the projections completely opposite. Unfortunately, not enough to make us eat crow. Okay. Well, I think it's enough to make me eat crow because I must have picked Tillet, right? I would have had to have. No way I would have picked you.
Well, you said my team was garbage after the draft, but then you kind of reversed course and were like, it's actually not too bad.
Well, I mean, now that you have the entire condiment section as your running back core, Heinz and mustard, so ketchup and mustard right there. I don't know if you've necessarily improved it, like a $90 bottle of ketchup over there, but
That
I don't know.
Generated 1.4 points.
1.4 for $90. How much is that? It's like
that was a spoiled bottle of ketchup.
It's definitely not $1 per point. I mean, what is that? That's like a penny a point. It's like a little bit. It's not a nickel a point.
Well, even though I had Heinz ketchup and mustard, I'm definitely relishing my victory.
Yeah.
There it is.
Exactly.
There it is.
Well, I mean, this week I started with talking about mustard. He went for a long touchdown to start the game, and that kind of put me on a good path there. And then I was just begging for Heinz to just do something, just catch a ball, but they just kept feeding Taylor, and it was just pissing me off. And then John Brown continues to do well. He's kind of an underrated receiver. So that was the 1 o'clock games for me, and then the 4 o'clock games. I only had. I don't think I had anyone going in the 4 o'clock window.
Well, you had Mahomes.
Oh yeah, Mahomes. Yeah, that's right. So
him. I've heard of him.
Oh yeah, him. So I mean, he didn't do quite as well as Russell Wilson, and they were actually struggling throughout a lot of that game. And I think the fact that they were behind helped me at the end.
And the fact that it went to overtime.
That too. Yep.
My favorite part of that game was hearing the announcers talk about the length of time that the Chargers took. It's like, well, they've used 10 plays in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. I'm like, you understand the Kansas City Chiefs are the Golden State Warriors of the NFL.
Yeah,
it does not matter how much of a lead you have. They'll move the ball down the field about 30 seconds in time. It was just funny. Time of possession means nothing to Kansas City.
No, and I have Tyreek Hill in another league I'm in, and he has 0 points until the fourth quarter when he goes for an 80-yard touchdown. So
I think they toy with teams now. They're like, yeah, we'll spot you 14 points. Justin Herbert, welcome to the NFL. Let's make you feel good. Meanwhile, Tyrod Taylor gets his chest punctured in by the team doctor. That's a lawsuit coming.
By Dr. Herbert? Or what was the
I'd never see a team so desperate to put the rookie in. I mean, you have to be a certain level of special to accidentally injure your starting quarterback using the team doctor.
Dr. Kevorkian. All
right. Metcalf and Carson. I mean, they.
Yeah, Carson got Carson got Miles Sanders like numbers.
There it is.
Sure did. Yeah.
19.8. Not exactly.
That team also has an explosive offense, and they always find a way to get into close games. Yeah. Seattle, I don't understand it. They always win these close games.
Well, New England, I mean, it's great to see that they're finally letting Russ cook. It is entirely about passing the ball. It's a bad New England defense. I think they had about 6 or 7 players. As soon as players could retain their salary this year and take the season off due to COVID considerations, I think that's what happened to New England. So I think they've been gutted that way, and Seattle took advantage. They're a good team. Metcalf in his second year, I think, is no longer just a guy who just runs down the field. I think he's going to be able to catch balls all over. He's just emerging as a reliable target.
And they have weapons because they have Lockett on the other side. So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this was a team that going into the draft that just because every year I never felt very confident with their receiving game or really anything that was going on in there in Seattle. But
I think Metcalf or Lockett, they go kind of with the Calvin Ridley thing. Calvin Ridley has that, that great guy in Julio on the other side. So,
I think they're playing.
It helps them,
I think they're playing extremely well this year, and I just think that all of the doubts that I would have had going into the season, I think they're being proven wrong. And speaking of being proven wrong, you have Naeem Hines. Any comment about that anymore?
Well, I guess those $90 will be wasted with one more bad week.
But at least you do have the Robinson guy over in Jacksonville. He's pretty good.
I do. Yeah, he was a guy I picked up deep in the dumpster before week 1.
All right. Yeah.
So it was, undrafted free agent. He, getting the majority of the touches. So he's been doing very well. I think I have a deep bench,
but you have a deep running back bench, though.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of James White, but
so much so that you dropped him earlier today. I know.
I did.
Yeah. I actually like White because I think the way this offense now is designed, I don't think Sony Michel's going to thrive. I think Cam's going to hold the ball longer.
Yeah, I think it's going to go to Cam a lot more than.
Yeah.
I have to give Manny props for Robinson. That was very, very nice.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was.
Nobody.
Jacksonville in general, I think, is actually going to be a better team than people thought.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but yeah. Hence Minshew getting picked up today too.
We can talk about that later. Yeah, but all right. So you'll play Carson, and you'll put in Robbins in there, so that'll fix that. And then I think Edelman obviously makes makes your lineup, I'm assuming, at this point. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you are fine. I mean,
He had like 13 points the first week, not great, and I wasn't very confident with the Cam connection, but it proved to be
there's nobody else there. Yeah, so on the other side of the ball, Tillett, look, he suffered from injuries, obviously, for Devontae Adams and Julio Jones. I mean, those are his two best players, and then for them to only get single digits and get injured, I mean, that's gonna obviously knock it down. Drew Brees was never like the best part of his team. David Johnson came back down to earth. I mean, that game was terrible. I watched that game. I mean, nobody was scoring. It was just, I mean, you want to talk about time of possession. That was a game that was just a snooze fest of time of possession. Tree Cohen, Font, is still good with 17 points. And he actually might do even better now that they have the replacement quarterback in there. Perryman's garbage. Whatever.
This game wasn't about me performing that well. It was just being lucky with his injuries. I mean,
you had an average performance. Yeah.
Got one down. I mean, that's the whole story there.
Yeah, you had an average performance, and he had a lot of injuries. Yeah. Two great defenses, 12 and 15. I mean, like,
wow.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, obviously you could put in Cooks next week. Still don't know how that's going to do. Like he's got some. He went from. I mean, he's having the Wakanda problem that happened last year, where Wakanda was just like this this amazing team, and then suddenly, they got the injury bug, and well, I mean, we'll see how. I mean, do we know the prognosis on these guys yet? I mean, this takes forever. All right, let's see. Devontae Adams didn't practice. Hammy problem. It didn't appear to be serious strain, but we'll see. We need to keep an eye on him. Okay, so there's a possibility he comes back, and then Julio Jones did not practice on Wednesday either. He's battling hammy through the first 3 weeks, but he's coming off a poor 2-game showing. But appeared to tweak his hamstring on a drop touchdown. Jones was seen getting stretched out on the sideline. Nothing else new. All right, so I mean, obviously, that's going to be the biggest part of his game, whether or not that happens. All right.
And the problem is going to be that, I was saying this before, but the decoy issue with wide receivers, because of how good those guys are, just by their name, they'll be kept out there. Like, it's a hamstring injury, so we don't know if it's something that's going to take them off. But as long as they're on the field, I feel bad for Jim because, like, they're there. Like, there's the thought of maybe they could get a couple of passes, but the team has no intention of throwing to them. They're just trying to just draw coverage to allow the Calvin Ridleys and the Valdez, whatever his name is in Green Bay, to thrive on that. I hate that play. I hate being in that place, having receivers who are treated like that.
Yeah. But once they return, I mean, he'll go back to being one of the better teams in the league. But right now, he's got a problem. All right, moving on to the next game. Cyberdyne versus Nick and Jamie. I mean, Cyberdyne. I mean, he's winning. I mean, he's not doing anything, so it's not. He actually, I did think he bid, right? I don't know. Whatever. So Goff gets 29.98 after his horrid week 1 performance of like 10 points. DeAndre Hopkins continues to be really good, 20.8 points, 16 for Amari Cooper, only 10.7 for Rojoke, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be replaced by Fournette. McKinnon with 13.7 over in San Francisco, 3.9 for Andrews. That game was largely that was a miracle game. I have a further analysis of that, but yeah, he just didn't get targeted. There, Mike Evans with 23.4. Does he still have, what's going on with Godwin over there? Is he even still?
I think Godwin's hurt.
Yeah, okay, so that's why I went to him. Gould with 8 and 3 for the Minnesota, which is good enough to beat the garbage barge, which 99 points, just under 100. He's on sale, the 99-cent store. 16.7 for Deshaun Watson, 21.80 for Hill, which really came on that touchdown. Right? Am I right? I remember that touchdown where he ripped off his helmet or something. I was only kind of watching that game. Am I right? You can correct me.
I think so. I forgot how many yards the catch was, but yeah, I think a good chunk of the 21 came from that play because they weren't that explosive for most of the game against the Chargers.
No, I mean, they were losing most of it. I mean, that was not my main
Right.
focus because I was in a very close game and the defense was playing over there, so I was only minorly monitoring that. But okay, and then Gallup gets 7.8. I mean, we kind of said this about Gallup. That's the page 7 latte pick. Drake gets 11.5, Mixon with 12.6. Ertz gets 9.2. Ruggs gets 1.4. Butker with the big kick there. The big 3 kicks, only which one of them counted, 13 points, and 5 for the San Francisco defense. On the bench, nothing either. Yeah, I mean, look, this is once again an average performance by Cyberdyne, and they're playing the garbage barge. I don't know what else to say. Start reading page 1 from page 1 of Fantasy Digest. Page 7 is not gonna. I mean, look. They have all the cute picks. You need some more. All right. I mean, anything else anybody has to say about this game? I don't think so. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, let's move on to my new nemesis. Gronky Kong wins 154.28 to 120.14 over the Whalers. Now, Whalers, of course, after this game posted the relax thing from Aaron Rodgers. And I think that you can. I mean, like I said, he's been sniffing around the dumpster like a raccoon. Never count this guy out. So what you see this week will be vastly different. But Roethlisberger gets a respectable score there with 22.24 and 19.7 for Tyler Lockett, as we were just talking about in Seattle. Then he's Giants heavy, with Slayton getting 6.3 and Saquon. That one hurts. Eckler got 18.8, so that was a good recovery for him there. Hurst gets 18.2, 20.10 for Connor, which is pretty impressive given that he was looking injured right before that, the week before, and then 3 from the kicker and 9 from the defense. For Gronky Kong, wow, look at that quarterback performance, 42.48. That's pretty damn good. Enough so that I would say, I don't know, maybe not address your quarterback issues and address the 6.10 from your wide receiver 1 and the 6.10 from your running back 1, or maybe the 5.8 from your wide receiver 2. No, but what will we get? We'll get a third quarterback. I mean, because, let's look at what's on the bench over here. Does he have, 30.54 from his quarterback 2? Why not go and pick up another quarterback? I don't know. All right. Chubb got 26 points. Waller got 28. I mean, Waller, they just kept feeding him over and over again.
He's really good.
Yeah. I mean, look, he was good last. I mean, it's the kind of thing that he did last year. Anything with Ruggs. I mean, Nick, you'd know better, but I don't. I mean, Ruggs, was he at 100%? Because I know he got injured the week before, but it's like they didn't care.
Yeah, no, I think he was slightly injured. I mean, he got I think at 3. I think he had 3 targets. One of which resulted in a defensive pass interference, which they led to the go-ahead field goal to win the game. But that's what Ruggs is going to do. He's going to get the biggest reason in drafting him for the Raiders was they're going to run some play action with Jacobs, and as we saw in Carolina last week, some Ruggs is going to run past someone with that 4.2 speed. But that's not reliable. I mean, Bryan Edwards, their second rookie, got 2 catches. I think Ruggs is going to keep getting better. I think he may be still a little hurt. And again, they're playing a New England team next week. That's not a New England defense. It's not that good, so we'll see. But yeah, no, they're going to move. They move Waller all over the place. They were finding all kinds of weaknesses in the Saints and just threw Waller at it. So that's how that offense is going to operate.
No, I mean, well, that's how they do operate. The only thing is like, I remember last year I had Waller, and he would have a lot of games like that were really great. And then there would be other games where they'd bring in like Hunter Renfrow, and he would take away points from him. I mean, obviously he didn't this time. And they also had that Moreau guy, like on the island of whatever, Dr. Moreau, he would take away some points sometimes. So it's, this is, I can't really speak that badly about him, but I do know that there are some weeks where it ends up being problematic. Is that Malcolm Brown over there? Only 9.20 points. I mean, so scintillating wide receivers. I mean, how many points is that from his wide receivers? Almost as much as Dave Secret Crush. So that's yeah, it's near 20.
Just as much as Miles Sanders.
Yeah, he got it. He got a Sanders basically out of 3 wide receivers. So of course, why would you address that situation? Keenan Allen on the bench got 16.60. So I guess he does have that there. Sutton went down to injury. I mean, more wide receiver problems. Why would you go for a wide receiver? I have no idea. Jordan Landry, who was traded for CeCe Lamb in the much touted and ballyhooed trade. With such value. I mean, Le'Veon Bell on IR and Jordan Landry. I mean, that guy is amazing. It's amazing. I mean, like, I don't know how Eugene gave up such value, 7.6 points. All right. Whalers will be fine. Gronky Kong needs to address some glaring problems in his lineup, and it's not going to be solved with 3 quarterbacks. And let me tell you something, you're not going to be able to move them because they could just sit on your bench and fester because there's not many teams that need a quarterback. I'm one of them, although I don't need it this week. But I need it, but I am not at a principle. I do not get I don't bargain. To quote Tommy Lee Jones from The Fugitive, I don't negotiate with hostage takers. It's not going to happen. So I will let them fester on your bench and get last place before I give up anything of value for a quarterback.
You didn't want to pay more than $2 for Minshew.
Because, okay. I mean, we could do this now, or we could do it in the other segment.
I mean, if you want a decent,
I'm going to be eventually. I'm leaving this. I have to get off the show in a moment, so I would love to hear it now.
Okay. I looked at the league. I looked at the entire landscape of the league, and I said, "Who needs a quarterback?" And I and I'm like, well, the only people that really need a quarterback are me and Geese. And I know Geese. And first of all, I'm not going to outbid him if he wants one. And second of all, he's going to want Tannehill. I know he's going to want Tannehill. And that's who he got. He got Tannehill. So I'm like, all right, that's going to leave Minshew. And look, if Geese didn't go after Tannehill, if he decided to go after Minshew, I would have picked up Tannehill. But there's only 2 teams that needed quarterbacks at the time. But instead, so I was just like, I'm not going to waste money on a quarterback when nobody needs it. But then, I mean, because certainly Gronky Kong doesn't need it. He has 2 of the best quarterbacks in the league. Why would I bother wasting money on somebody who doesn't need it? And then he spends $2 on Minshew and gets him. Yeah,
well,
I don't know.
If you really need someone, you pay $3 for him when you have 200.
I bid on him. I bid 0. I mean, like, $2 wouldn't have gotten it. I don't really need somebody. It's not like I really needed Minshew.
I mean, I need a backup quarterback too. I didn't even think about it. I have Mahomes, but I don't have anyone else.
You don't need anybody else.
Well, if he gets hurt, so.
If he gets hurt, you're fucked. Whatever. Look, here's the other thing about quarterbacks. Look, if you are hoarding wide receivers or you're hoarding running backs, you will get good value for them because the difference between a shit running back and Naeem, the difference between Naeem Hines and somebody who plays is immense. The difference between quarterbacks, yes, you're going to have elite level quarterbacks, which, look, let's be fair. Minshew will get you an average of about 29 points in a game. And that's when he's performing well. In the 29 to 30 range. You can go pick up a bargain basement piece of shit who will get you 20 or 16. You'll at least get 16. So you're talking about maybe a 13-point swing or whatever. It's not a big point differential. It's just not worth it to hold them hostage. There's enough players that I can go and stream quarterbacks For somebody who's going to, first of all, there's enough shitty teams. There's enough teams that play the Jets. There's enough teams that play the entire New York area, Philadelphia, the tri-state area, or whatever you want to call that area. I could find anybody who plays Atlanta. I mean, there's got to be a team that's going to have somebody who's going to get some points. So hoarding them is going to do you no good. And there's just no point to have 3 quarterbacks on your team. Why? Why, when there's glaring things that you need to address? Now, maybe it's because he's not familiar with the league and he thinks, oh, I can pull one over on these guys and I can hold them hostage. Well, let me tell you something, motherfucker. I will not. I will go to Dr. Hockey if I have to, but you will rot with him on your bench if you have to. But no, I'm not rewarding this type of behavior. Anyway, Nick, what did you want to say? Did you already leave us? Well,
No, I didn't leave, but I am about to. There was nothing I was going to say aside from the fact that, I wasn't quite sure of the Minshew thing, and that may be the thought. I feel like maybe at one point years ago may have thought the same. It's have a good backup quarterback and dangle it out there. But to your point, there's so many good quarterbacks. I mean, for any quarterback that's going to get you at a minimum 20 points, which is kind of what you need.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys who can do that. I mean, you can make a similar discussion about Auburn in that, like right now, Cam or Russell Wilson's going to sit on that bench. I just don't. I don't see anyone that's going to be able to throw a lot at Wakanda to try to get one of those quarterbacks. Like, what do you want? How much are you actually going to offer? So yeah, I was thrown by that decision because I was looking for a backup quarterback too, because I just refused to keep Kirk Cousins on my bench at this point. And I think I went with it. I think I got Justin Herbert, but that's just in case. What's that?
Is he even playing? I thought the coach said something like, "We're not going to play him this week." I heard that on the Rich Eisen show. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah.
It's a strange strategy. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, even tight ends you could kind of hoard. You might as well hoard kickers. Like, who cares at this point? Like, it's just not. I don't know. It would have to be barren, and I don't understand why everybody's holding on to backup QBs. What is the point of having all these backup QBs? They're just going to sit and fester on your bench.
I agree. You don't need 3 of them, but I agree you need 2 because.
Why? You need 2 because of the other scoundrels in this league. But in a normal league, you don't even need to. If everybody was just like, all right, I got my one, and then the other ones will be sitting out there, and you'll be fine.
Injuries, though.
What?
Worried about injuries.
If everybody, it's like the prisoner's dilemma. If everybody just left the second and third string quarterbacks on their bench, available, then everybody would have them. But now everybody has to hoard them, so now it's trying to increase their value. But it's not actually.
All I'm saying is you don't want to have to end up playing someone like Kirk Cousins.
You'll never have to play Kirk Cousins. There's enough.
Quarterback got injured.
What?
Well, that's what I'm saying, because maybe he realized that people are hoarding quarterbacks.
He's hoarding quarterbacks. What?
Everyone has 2 of them, so he was like, oh, I need to get a third one, so, because he realized that people are hoarding. I'm a friend of his. I did not discuss this with him.
I know you're a friend of his. You're a friend of his. Your burner team over here.
I did not discuss this quarterback hoarding.
I know, of course not. Why would you discuss the quarterback hoarding? Have we ever seen the 2 of them, these 2 gentlemen in the same place? It's like Clark Kent and Superman. I'm starting to suspect that perhaps.
The man, if he exists, he lives in Rhode Island, as far as I know. And he does not live in Hackettstown. He is not part of the Hackettstown teams.
He is not.
First of all, I'm not even sure that Rhode Island exists. All I'm saying is that maybe address this glaring problem that you have right here rather than pick up a third quarterback.
Well, I will have him come on the show one week and explain himself.
Well, it's fine. I look forward to meeting yourself.
You could not have gone to a worse team.
Where are you going to get your mustache and glasses that you're going to wear your Groucho Marx mustache that you're going to wear posing as Mr. Patel.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Mr. Patel right here. Let me tell you, this is what my strategy was. I decided that I really needed some quarterback. You never know when one or two are going to go down, and let me tell you, you got to support the team.
Oh man. All right.
This is what I say. I say, take. Where's the mask? Right here. You got to mask up. You got to wear the mask. You can't be too careful on this thing. I heard that from Geese. I need some I mean, I love myself some quarterbacks. You never know. You can never have too many quarterbacks. No such thing as too many quarterbacks.
Oh my god.
Congratulations, Manny, on becoming commissioner in your first season, being that you don't you're slash commissioner and you run the finest. I mean, like, it's amazing how many roles you have, Manny. It's amazing.
You're still concerned. You are convinced that I run Gronky Kong too?
Absolutely. I've yet to see, and until it's proven otherwise, I think he's your burner team.
All right. He says he listens to the podcast, so.
Does he?
He does.
Does he? Does he? I'm sure he does.
I actually believe him.
I'm going to go through the analytics tomorrow and see if there's anything from Rhode Island that's listening to this podcast.
He actually quoted Eugene. He said, we didn't know anyone who was, like, we didn't know what team anyone was playing for on the first week.
He didn't know what anyone was playing for.
Yeah. Like when we did the podcast for previewing the week 1 games.
Right.
He said we didn't know who any of the players were playing for.
That's what you said to yourself? Okay. I oftentimes talk to myself, so I get it.
No, I was talking to you.
No, I get it. I hear there's rumors that there's going to be a new team in the league next year. The 1906ers are really hankering to go in the league. Okay. So moving on to the last game. This is the last game where we're finally there. All right. This is actually a very exciting game. It was 50-50 the projection all the way through. And I'm shocked that I pulled this game out. So the final score was 132.98 to 128.06. It was completely stressful for me the entire weekend. I mean, look, Lamar got 19.56. I did not anticipate that happening. In fact, there was a play where he handed it off to Mark Ingram at the end of the game or something, I think, and I was just like, thank God he handed it off. Because otherwise, I mean, like, there's so many opportunities for us to have gotten fucked. Now, and also, by the way, Paris Campbell, he outbid me for Paris Campbell, and because of that, had I gotten Campbell, this would have lost. But because he got him, he played him, he got injured on the first play, and I ended up winning. There's so, first of all, when we went into the last game of the day, or the last couple of games, I was like, all right, I got, I had a lead, but I'm like, I got to deal with Lamar Jackson, and I have to, deal with the Kansas City defense. And I didn't even realize the kicker was going, and the kicker just kept chipping away. In fact, they had a garbage time field goal. I've never seen this before, but it was 42 seconds left in the game, and they had it was 4th and 2, and I'm like, they're not going to kick a field goal. They'll just turn it over or whatever. The game was completely out of hand, but they kicked a garbage time field goal just to fuck me and make me have to stress through that Kansas City game as they go into overtime. But, we managed to pull it out. Look, Tom Brady sucks, and he's no longer on my team. I tried that experiment. That's gone. He's now on the Whalers, of course, because, I threw him in there for the Raccoon. He only had 10.68 points. He could have had more, actually. He could have had a touchdown. He passed it to Fournette, who had tried to dive in, but he was like on the micrometer line, so he just handed it off to Fournette, who was on my bench, of course. And so that cost him 6 points right there. Chark has been underwhelming with 12.40 points. But he's been fine. I mean, like, he's been good. He just hasn't been fantastic. He's also questionable right now. Marvin Jones has been pretty shitty. Those 12.30 points were on the back of a touchdown reception. He really needs Golladay to return because he is not a number one. He is more of a slot guy. McCaffrey still had 24.80 points before he went down. Aaron Jones. What did I say about Aaron? I seem to recall saying something about Aaron Jones, that he was good and he might have been worth more than his name suggested. 45.60 points. That's what saved the game for me. GoDirt.com reports that he's going to have a comeback game next week. 3.2 from Scotty Miller. Fuck you. On the sly only got 5, and he got dumped too because that team is not even going to get in that half of the field. And the Chicago Bears defense against the Giants really also helped save my bacon. For Wakanda, look, Lamar getting held down is really what hurt him. I mean, Lamar has a normal game, they win. But like the game flow, like I was talking about in one of the other things, it was just so slow and boring, and he handed it off to guys at every turn. So that's what cost him. 29.30 points for Diggs. We talked about Campbell already. His running backs, I mean, look, Derrick Henry only 8.4 points. I mean, that's because they're passing it. I mean, like he's running, but they're not giving him the goal or the ball on the goal line, and that's just costing him his points there. They're giving it all to Jonnu Smith. Malcolm Brown 4.7. I believe he got injured. Was he the one with the thumb, or was he the one with the finger? I mean, the finger or the rib. Somebody had. He was the finger. He gave Hockey the finger. 28. Yeah, 28.4 points for Higbee. That was ridiculous. We had our tight ends going against each other in that game, and Higbee just got everything. It was painful to watch. I was like, is that Higbee getting another one? That must be a replay. But no, it was another one. 19 points for Taylor. I mean, Taylor, who's obviously worth, an A.J. Green / Fuller combo meal right there.
Fucking Taylor taking all of the catch-up.
Yeah, I know. He got he almost got Sanders numbers. Not quite a Sanders, but almost. And then his kicker 13 and 5 for the Kansas City defense. For Dr. Hockey on his bench, Deshaun Jackson with 12.40 points. Tyler Boyd, I mean, he's been inconsistent. So the first game he got, what did he get? He got like nothing the first game, but this time he got the touchdown reception, so he got up to 20. Yes, first game he got 7.3 points. Galladay's still out. Hopefully he comes back for both of our sakes. And then, of course, Hoarding Cam, 36.50 points, trying to shovel him off to another team that I'm aware of.
I'm not even going to talk about the offer, quote unquote.
What was the offer that you got?
Well, we got the offer originally was Cam Newton and I believe Tyler Boyd.
No.
Was it Deshaun?
It was Deshaun.
Deshaun and Cam Newton for Michael Thomas.
Of course, because nobody doesn't go for the number one superstar on everybody's team when they make a trade. And you, of course, didn't go for it.
No, we countered. Interesting. We'll just throw this out there on the record. It was Kenny Golladay and Cam Newton for Michael Thomas. And I was actually willing to go for it. I was like, Hockey, sure, whatever. But the greed monger shut it down. So he was not happy with that. So we'll see how it plays out for Golladay and Newton, especially Newton. Let's look how many points he has in the starting lineup. Versus Lamar Jackson. So we'll see.
Yeah, he has 0 in the starting lineup because he has Lamar Jackson is never going to need him.
Never, except for week 8, I believe.
Yeah. And yeah, this is the point. So and then the absolute greed of some people in this league to be like, I can't give up a Golladay. You're getting Michael Thomas. He's like, yeah, but I'm handing, I'm giving you Cam Newton in the deal too. He's a great quarterback. Like, yeah, so what? So what? He's burning a hole in your bench. These guys can burn holes in all of your benches. It doesn't matter.
If he took that trade, I would be scared of his team, considering he has Henry, Lamar, and Michael Thomas. I mean, that's 3 unicorns.
Yeah, and he rejected it because he didn't want to lose anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's how greedy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to suffer in the slightest. I haven't been using this guy for 2 weeks, but I don't want to suffer in the slightest. I will only make a deal with you if I trade you absolute dog shit in return for your best player.
Pretty much.
And this is why trades don't happen. I don't bargain. And this is why you have to say that. All right. Anything else on these games or anything?
I hope if he reconsiders, don't take it.
Yeah, don't.
He lost his chance.
Yeah, you lost your window, Ted.
Yeah. Because that's a win for him.
It is. Well, and Geese doesn't need to do it now anyway because he got Tannehill. There's no reason for Geese to do it. So he really lost his window. I mean, the only one that's desperate enough for a quarterback is me. And
Gronky Kong.
Yeah, Cronky Kong needs a fourth. Just go to the store. I don't know. Tell your alternate personnel. Tell the left side of your brain. Hey, do we need a fourth? Yeah, we need a fourth. Let's go trade for this fucker. What do we care? We don't need to win. It's just my alter ego. As long as the finest wins, I don't care.
The commissioner is actually Gronky Kong, not the finest.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care which one of these teams I win with. I'll still get the $500. Look at this shit. Split it with myself. $250. All right. So let's take a quick break right now before we come back and we go over the transactions. Actually, we're going to have we'll have an interview first with Eugene that is going to be scintillating. I know you're all going to love it, and then we'll come back after that and have the transactions and the preview of next week's games. All right, stay tuned, everybody.
I felt like I was in a courtroom.
Yeah, I mean, look, I finally got to see why he's actually a decent lawyer. All right, we'll be back right after this. The show. Joining us is the ever so humble coach of the Dave Secret Crush team, Mr. Eugene Gazenput. Welcome to the show.
Welcome aboard, buddy.
Everybody.
What, does he disappear the second he comes on?
No,
so,
I'm here.
The floor is yours. I know you've been complaining. Well, first of all, you texted me last week how you said I should get a bunch of homeless people on the show because they would have a better chance or they would have better analysis. So we invited you, which we felt is the same thing.
That's all true. I was use the word livid would be an understatement after I listened to that week 1 podcast with draft analysis, the hard-hitting draft analysis so that you guys had. And that was the tip of the iceberg. And then came week 2, the prediction segment right before I was playing Geese, to which even though I think I was favored by, I don't remember, it was like 20 points or something, every single analyst on the show, I use the word analyst loosely, picked against me. Literally every single one. I know you guys are doing it to bait me, which is fine.
Yeah, you're not surprised that your opponent picked against you, right? You can't have to give your opponent that.
I'll tell you this. If I were a team and I looked at my team objectively, I would pick, and I had your team, I wouldn't pick my team.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough.
It was so one-sided to me. It was so one-sided that the 60-point beatdown I had on you this week probably didn't even cut it because Fuller got injured somewhere during stretching, and I wasn't aware of. So this probably should have been like a 75-point, even if you use a moderate score. Beatdown, like a blowout of the week. Yahoo used to have that. I don't know if that had it on this week.
No, they do, and we'll check that. But you mentioned something about Fuller. I know our analysis is terrible, but geez, do you remember somebody saying anything about Fuller? I don't know. Do homeless people know that?
Okay. Yes. So I'm going to address Fuller. First of all, I don't remember what I got him for the draft, but it was not expensive. So
nothing was.
Can't go.
Nothing in the team was expensive.
So yes,
that was the
injury prone. Yes, that's right. And I got an all-star lineup full of not cheap players with excess dollars to spend in fab. So here it comes out. You don't draft players based on what they did in the past. You draft players about what they're going to do in the future, but fantasy analysis. So I drafted Fuller, being that DeAndre Hopkins was no longer the team, and he was a wide receiver 1 option. Is he an injury risk? Yes. So are a lot of other guys. Was he hurt this weekend? Did he fuck me over? Absolutely. But was he a wide receiver 1 on that team the first week? Yeah. And he had a great game. Is he going to be fine this week or next week? Probably. And I'm getting the best wide receiver on that team going forward. So if he stays healthy, and that might be a big if with him, I'm getting a top tier wide on the Texans for dirt cheap. So how is that not good value? That's what you're looking for in the draft for these things, value, right? Especially at an auction. You're looking to pay the least and get the best players available and field the team just like with injuries, especially in a COVID season, full of good players, not just 2 or 3 top-heavy players, Dave. So that was my strategy going in, and I think I did a good – in fact, I had money left over, which I wasn't expecting.
You had a lot of money.
Carried over into fab.
That's one thing you had left over.
$11.
A lot of money, a lot of capital.
$11.
If you listen to the
$11.
podcast, we weren't talking about value. We were just talking about injury timeline, which I think we were pretty much on the money on by week 2.
Well, we too. We'll see. I still don't know. I don't know if the news broke as far as what his injury was. If it was some kind of a strain or I don't know. He was just seen stretching on the sidelines. But
what's the value?
Either way, I got like 2 or 3 wide receivers. If he's healthy,
what's the value?
If he's healthy, he's a wide receiver, potentially a top 15 wide receiver.
Sure, but what's the value of
if
somebody
he's healthy
who
and
doesn't play?
playing? The targets he got, he had like 10, 15 targets. If he doesn't play 0 again, but nobody could predict that. Did anybody? What's the value of Christian McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley? It's the same thing. None of those guys had prior injury. It's football. You never know with these things. I would say anyone on any given roster has a 33% chance of getting hurt. How many guys make it a full 16 games this season?
I feel like Fuller has a higher than 33%.
I'm going to venture less than 50%. Yes, he absolutely probably does. He probably has a 50% chance. So assuming he even plays 10 games, right? Missing 6 games.
Wow, that's
where
a lot
I got
of
him
games
and
for
what I
him.
paid for him, that's good value. That's a lot of games. 6 games is a lot of games. Almost a half the season.
Yeah, but what happens if you're playing him in an important, like if you have an important game coming up? Do you play him?
Hopefully.
You just pray. Because I got news for you. I played him in the championship game last year, and you know how much he got me? I think it was just about. I want to say maybe 1 point.
So again, if what happened this week happens, yeah, you're fucked. So that's a risk you take with him. Hopefully the injury news comes out earlier than like game time, and you know if he's playing or not, or what percentage of health he is. So if you get a report fully healthy, I'm guessing you're playing him. If there's a report out there that says, hey, he's banged up or limited, that's the risk you have to weigh before you're putting him in your lineup, right? Because he does get targets and he will get points. So it's a risk-reward thing. If you're playing a team where you need like a home run threat, he's your guy. If you're playing a team where you're favored, maybe you want to go more conservative, maybe he's not your play. Right? I mean,
he's definitely not my play.
Analysis.
No, I know. Look, that's fine. If you want to, you want to take a risk on Glass Joe, you are more than welcome.
It's similar to AJ.
It's similar to AJ Green or who?
Okay. That's fair enough. Look, I was just going to say that. That's what I was going to say. It's similar to AJ Green. So AJ Green, who has prior injury history, but when healthy, is an elite receiver. He's got a new quarterback who's thrown the ball. He threw the ball 61 times last week, and he looked for him 13 times. He overthrew him 7 times, but he looked at him 13 times. So you get targets, and first week, there's a touchdown that was called back on him. So he's the wide receiver 1 on that team. He's the first option, right? There's nobody. They're not throwing to Tyler Boyd or John Ross on that team. They're throwing to AJ Green. That's his security blanket on that team. Same thing with Will Fuller. So again, it was a risk, and they didn't pay a lot for either guy. So that was my strategy going in. And it's not like I went in thinking I had to get him, but of those values, I got them.
I don't think that the criticism of your team was the value that you got for the players. I mean, that's great. Once the auction is over, I don't care.
So let's go through the criticism.
We can go. We can.
I get the injury risk.
I know.
I got it.
You're hankering to go through this roster from last week. Let's let's go through it. All right, here we go. What?
We don't even have to go through that. We could go through the draft, and I have no problems going through the draft and seeing what I paid for those guys. All along, my draft was I wanted Josh Jacobs. There's a couple of guys that I wanted that I thought were too expensive. Like I wasn't going to pay $95 for McCaffrey.
All right, we'll go through the draft. Here it is by team.
Like I want to know what. Like first of all, if you look through top to bottom, all my guys
there's your
potentially most of my guys are starters and wide receivers one or running back one on their team. Like, so I want to go specifically what you guys had issues with and the reasons why.
It is.
And we'll discuss the second hot topic, the Shafto trades later, because I see some of these guys on your roster were packaged up into Shafto trades and are no longer on your team. Surprisingly.
It's
what?
Is the only guy I would regret, and if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't take would be Le'Veon Bell.
But you quickly rectified that with a convenient Shafto trade.
Did he?
I thought it was a fair trade.
Oh, sure, of course.
Which trade
More
are we
than
talking?
fair.
There was one trade, right? You had the Lamb trade, right?
Yeah, I got CeeDee Lamb.
But I'm saying that's the only one that you're actually
for Le'Veon Bell and Landry. I thought that's a fair trade. Landry is great for a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, sure.
Do you guys think that's a Shafto trade?
I don't think that's a Shafto. I think
I might have been offered what could be considered a Shafto trade.
I think everybody in the league has been offered a Shafto trade, except I think I said on the podcast. If I didn't, I certainly said it to people. Okay, I didn't say it on the podcast because it happened on Friday. I said, wow, he was really hankering for a trade. He was willing to do anything to at least get something done, and that's what you got done. I don't think this is Shaft. I thought it was a totally insignificant trade either way. I think it's
fair trade.
What? Yeah, I mean fair.
Yeah, I don't think it makes or breaks anybody's team.
Yeah, I don't.
You could probably swap Landry and Lamb. I don't remember what I offered. I offered like 20 people trades.
It was like AJ Green and Fuller.
For who?
I'm sure whatever his best player was. I'll pull it up. Let's see. Deontay Johnson, I think it is, from Pittsburgh. I know you certainly offered AJ Green and Kelsey for McCaffrey.
If I offered AJ Green and Fuller for Deontay Johnson, is that what I really offered? I think that's more than fair. In fact, that might be too much. Yeah, that might be too much.
The one man's injured. He got 5 points.
He should have probably accepted that on the spot.
Oh, totally.
If I offered that.
All right, the AJ Green and Kelsey for McCaffrey before he was injured.
AJ Green and Kelsey, that was like the week one. When did I offer that?
After week one, but before week two.
Yeah, that's
fair. No, because
I probably wouldn't do it if I were you at that point in time.
Because when
I think I told you that.
Okay, because what I'm trying to find out is, are you delusional, or and that you actually think that these are fair trades, or do you know that these are shadow trades and you're just trying to get away with them anyway, just to see who will finally bite? What is he? Just his favorite? I forgot. He's on dial-up. He's still on dial-up.
You broke up, but I think you're broken up. I don't know. I went into my dining room, so maybe my service is not great here.
It's not great anywhere. Anybody who's ever played you in the BBA or in the hockey or soccer.
No, it's been much better. It's been much better because I changed the box.
Well, it's fantastic. Let me tell you this.
What were you saying? No, I think. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You said you're one of the top 40 lawyers under 40 megabytes?
I never said that. The committee, the national trial lawyer said that.
Right.
Okay. So
I've never said that.
So are we
probably in the
still
top
addressing
50.
previous trades, or can we get to my Shafto trade?
You want those good grapes?
Whatever you guys want to talk about, I don't care.
I'm just curious about your just your trading in general. I just want to know, like, do you realize? All right, we can go through another one. AJ Green, you really are peddling him hard, and Terry McLaurin for Jonathan Taylor right after Mac went down, and right after Hines went.
Okay, so did you see what Terry McLaurin did this week?
I think he did all right.
A little bit better than all right.
You see what AJ Green
dominated.
did?
So AJ Green had a bad week, covered by Denzel Ward, who's probably one of the top 3 corners in the NFL, and had 11 targets, 7 of which Burrow had overthrows. If you go on Twitter and you look at those highlights, they actually break down every single throw when he was targeted and the throws Burrow made. And he made 3 great catches and was overthrown about 6 times and 1 maybe catchable ball. If you watch that game, he was targeted all game. Did he have a bad game? Yes. Denzel Ward, if you watch that game, is a great corner, and he guarded him tight. He had a bad game. So, but he was targeted. Do I see him having a good season? Yes. Is it going to be maybe 1,500 yards? No, he's not getting that. He's not like 25 anymore. But if he gets 1,100 yards and 6 touchdowns, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Hold on. So my Shafto trade, okay, if you don't want to call it that, my trade offer was yes. Antonio Gibson and DJ. You're going to be more than satisfied.
Yep.
For Dalvin Cook. Now, if I had offered you that trade, would you seriously entertain?
I probably did that on purpose because of the whole Moore thing.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
I might have done that. Was that before or during? When did I offer that? Maybe that before the game, or
that was very recently. That was after.
Yeah, maybe after we played. I probably after the 60-point beatdown I put on you, I might have sent you that.
I mean, look, if
you should have accepted.
I should have. Yes.
Yeah.
Why didn't I?
I mean, if it's actually a joke, then I respect the joke. I definitely respect the joke if that's what you're trying to do. If it was a serious trade, then I think you should seek psychological help.
No. I sent you DJ Moore after your podcast commentary.
In fact, you should have sent the offer, and in the comment section said, "I think you're going to be more than satisfied with this trade."
I might have done it on the train. I didn't have the time.
Okay. But none of these are Shafto trades. These are just.
So far, the one trade I had was more than fair.
I agree. I actually agree. I agree that the one trade that was executed was a fair trade. Just saying that there's a lot of
and for the record, AJ Green and Will Fuller, if that's what I offered him for Deontay Johnson, is also more than fair. And if I was on the other side, I might take that. In fact, I would take that.
Well, that's great because you already have him on your team. It's as if that trade already happened because you did take it. Now you have AJ Green and Deontay Johnson. Okay,
I'm looking for more of a big upside, guys. But go ahead.
Okay. Oh wait, did you want to go? We're on your page. Do you want to go through your draft here? Because look,
So I told you the only one I would have back is the Bell one. I mean $27 wasn't a lot to pay for a starting running back. No, who knew that he was going to get hurt? But that was the only one because I didn't love him. I still don't love him, and if I had to do it over again, I probably wouldn't have done that.
And who would you have gotten?
There's a lot of guys I like, but I don't want to fill you guys in case their draft. If their targets of mine for trades.
You don't want people to know. All right. Well,
I told you going into the draft, I loved Jacobs. I loved Miles Sanders. I liked Edwards-Helaire. I owned him in a bunch of leagues. Mm-hmm. So those are guys that I liked. I wasn't going to pay up for Kamara, Barkley, Elliott, all those guys. I know how this league gets. So my strategy going in was let you guys spend $95 on those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to scoop up the guys I liked for much cheaper and then use that money to spread across and have a deep roster, which is what I did. And I got Kelsey and some other guys.
Yes, you did. I can't argue with that.
Some other guys.
I can't argue with that.
Well, I mean,
you absolutely got Kelsey and some other guys.
Some other guys,
AJ
for sure.
Green, Moore, who I love. I think I had Moore last year also.
No, you didn't. I had him.
Did you have? I had him on my other team. I had
That's convenient. There's always another team.
No, I mean I did have him. He's great. I love DJ Moore. I think he's consistent. He gives you a high floor every week, and he's the top wide receiver on that team. So I love him. He scored like 20 points this week.
I don't know. But we can go over the scores. We'll go over
he's
the scores.
He's an elite guy. The only knock on him is like sometimes I think he's more of a PPR guy, which is great for our league, but he doesn't get as many touchdowns because I think they target a lot of McCaffrey. But now that McCaffrey's not there, I think he had 5-6 touchdowns last year, but he had about 1,200 yards and had probably 80-90 catches last year. He was an elite guy. I think he probably finished as wide receiver 12, 13 last year.
He was not bad last year.
I know,
but all right, but you love him.
I love him. He's my guy.
And you're definitely a if you love someone, set them free kind of guy, because you're setting all of these guys free, these guys that you love. Look, you love AJ Green, love all of them, but you.
So the difference, I'll tell you. So I have a lot of depth on my team. If you look top to bottom, I think I have a lot of good guys. I don't have a lot of trash. So I could package one or two guys for a superstar guy for somebody who's not as deep. So, if I could have two good players and get an elite superstar guy to better a team, I would rather have that because I think I have a lot of depth and I could find depth along the season also in Fab if need be.
Look, I agree with that. I think that my problem is that you
jealousy.
No, definitely
yes.
No. What? Maybe the hair.
More.
What?
DJ Moore.
No.
You want him.
I really don't. No, I don't. No, is that you try to go for whoever the player's elite guy is. In all of these trades, most of them, except for the one that you actually executed, which is the one that I don't have a problem with. But you find whoever the guys, the team's elite guy is, and you try to package up a couple of
good players.
No.
Good in quotes. Dalvin Cook.
Yeah. Good players
for
these superstars, and you do it. By the way, you do it like you ever hear of buy low, sell high? You are trying to shovel them off after their worst possible game. I'm sorry, but you should be.
But isn't that what you're supposed to do as a Jeff? I'm confused. So it's buy low, sell high, right? Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
You're not supposed to buy. Look, nobody's going to buy your trash when it's low. What?
So you're saying your problem with my trade strategy is I try to pick up guys on their down weeks.
No, you try to shovel them off on their down weeks.
Yeah. You mean the guy that I'm trading for, or my guys?
Your guys.
I'm not sure.
Your guys.
Oh, my guys. So my guys, when my guys have that week. Okay. I thought you were doing it in reverse when somebody else's guys have a bad week.
No. When your guys have a bad week, you're going after their guys that have a good week. Who in their right mind would just look at their score from last week and go, yes, Will Fuller, who got 0, and AJ Green, who got 5 point something. Let me trade my best player for that.
Okay, so that's very short-sighted if you are looking at it like that. Dave, is it possible that a fantasy football player can have a bad week? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Can a Christian McCaffrey if he had a bad week? Is that possible?
Yeah,
he's had one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I had McCaffrey and he had a bad week and I sent him in a trade, would you take that?
If
for
you
another guy? You would, because guys have bad weeks. That doesn't mean long-term success. If you gave me a guy I loved for a trade offer, and right after he had a bad week, and I love the guy, and I thought it made sense for my team, absolutely, I wouldn't care if he had a bad week. That's not indicative of future performance. They might have gone up against a top defense, or they might have gotten injured in the game, or maybe they matched up against a top corner or run defense. It's all game specific. You've got to look at, it's not just a one game thing. If you're looking at it like that, you're looking at it incorrectly.
I agree with you if you're talking in a vacuum. However, when you are
Not
talking,
a vacuum. Your Will Fuller was hurt. He got 0 points.
he's always hurt.
So
that's the point. But I'm
okay. So yes, he's injury prone. I agree with you. But I'm just saying that's not indicative that he's going to be hurt from now on.
I'm just saying.
Frank Gore at one point in his career was injury prone. He got hurt year after year. Now he's played in the league for 16, 17 years. So you can't use that. But he's still playing and hasn't gotten hurt. So, and he's like 5th on the all-time rushing list. You can't use that example all the time, because just because somebody got hurt in the past doesn't mean they're going to get hurt in the future. It's a false premise.
Look, I vaguely look in certain circumstances. I agree with what you're saying, but I also disagree.
Have you ever had a guy that got hurt and then played the next season, like a full season?
Yeah.
Has that ever happened? Yeah,
absolutely.
That happened. So so I'm not buying Will Fuller hurt.
Okay.
I bought him healthy.
Let's throw out there for the league, just to get into the mind of Eugene. Obviously, Michael Thomas is hurt. He might come back this week. He might come back next week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, and he never had an injury.
Current roster, being
an injury last year.
A fair and impartial trader. What on your team right now would you potentially offer for a Michael Thomas?
Are you asking me for a trade offer?
I'm just saying, who would you consider would be in your realm of possibility?
Michael Thomas
better not
is
be
probably
Gibson.
Michael Thomas is probably the top 1 or 2 receiver in the NFL. So
fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
Is he banged up now? So you got to take into consideration.
I'm not entertaining Gibson and Fuller, by the way. We're gonna have to come up with something different.
Yeah. Well, how many games is he going to be out? Is he out 4
now
games?
you sound like Dr. Hockey.
Is he out 4 games?
Maybe.
Let's say he is.
Probably he is. Does that? How much does that lower the value? So what would you consider?
So to me, if he had the season he had last year, he's worth a lot. Do I think he's going to repeat the year he had last year? No, because that was an incredible year. He was so far and away better than the next wide receiver. And the targets he got were like 50 more than somebody else. He scored like 50 or 60 fantasy points more than the next wide receiver. So if he guaranteed that kind of a year, he's worth, a top running back in return. I don't.
So for you in the neighborhood of a Jacob.
So no, I don't think I didn't project him to have that kind of a year this year. I think he's still the best wide receiver or the top 2 wide receivers in the NFL. But I wasn't projecting him as far as numbers to have what he did last year. It wasn't sustainable. The
more
numbers.
In the realm of a Sanders. That's what we're trying to ask the viewers. Where does this? I'm trying to get into the mind of Eugene.
Look, before the draft, I probably would have taken. It's very close. He's probably ahead of Sanders. I wouldn't have taken him there because I would have wanted a running back early. For where you had to pay in a regular snake draft, he was going ahead of Sanders. But if it was me, I wouldn't have taken a wide receiver there because where I could get a elite running back just in a snake draft. In an auction draft, I wasn't going to pay up whatever $60 or $70 for Michael Thomas because there's a lot of wide receivers.
Talking about like trade value versus what you have on
trade value. Is he worth the Sanders? Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Miles Sanders is who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Is he worth?
I wouldn't make that deal. No.
You wouldn't make a Sanders for Thomas straight up.
No, I mean assuming health and what you're getting, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I think that's a very.
What on your team is he worth? Where would you put him on your current roster?
It would take too much to get him, so I wouldn't go. If you're looking for. I wouldn't get rid of my elite running back. I wouldn't get rid of Jacobs or Sanders for him because those guys are too valuable for me.
So he's more of a Gibson Fuller.
No, I mean he's not. He's obviously worth more than that.
Okay.
I would
So somewhere in between.
Let me look at my team. Hold on.
God, I love how these interview sessions always turn into trade negotiations that you guys could do behind, on your own free time, not on the viewers' time.
I mean, I don't know. I would probably do he's probably worth 2 good wide receivers in return. I mean, I wouldn't trade an elite running back for him. That's not just how I value him. Mm-hmm. I was going in. I like wide receivers. Anywhere between 8 to 15 range. I could have a good team with those guys, and go for one or two
the rankings,
general
rankings.
I would go Michael Thomas was the first or second wide receiver on most boards, so I wasn't paying up in an auction to get that guy. I knew I was going in. I could have 4 or 5 guys in that 8 to 25 range that I was fine with, and interchange them based on matchups, and have 2 good running backs that I liked or loved. That was my draft strategy going in. So, I got 2 good quarterbacks out of it. I wasn't expecting to get Prescott or Rodgers.
No, yeah,
and those guys are dominating.
By the way, another guy who has a million quarterbacks. Everybody has the quarterbacks, but okay. So, which is going to be a big complaint.
Prescott was the best quarterback this week.
No. I agree. I thought Prescott was a really. What are you blowing me kisses? I thought that Prescott was
something on my phone.
I figured Prescott was a good look. Prescott's a good quarterback, and Rodgers ended up being a good backup. It's not even necessarily a complaint about you. It's a complaint that I have for everybody else. But whatever. Okay, fair enough. But I'm just saying, I think that the criticism is you're always going for the top player on anyone's team, and you are offering them a package.
Clearly, first of all, that's clearly not the case. If you look at the trade I just made,
I know, which is
not the best.
Which is why I give you credit for that one. I'm saying, if you let me finish,
have you seen every trade proposal that I sent to everybody?
I've seen a lot of them.
Do they just screenshot it to you,
yes,
or do you?
They absolutely do. There's a whole bunch. There's a whole cabal of people that send your ridiculous trades back and forth and laugh at them.
Yeah, affectionately called Shafto trades. As you probably know.
Yes, I don't know if I've seen them all, but I've seen a lot.
It's not unfairly labeled. So, Geese, me and you have made several trades in the past. Were they Shafto trades? I mean, one of them, the whole league had the Shafto trade. I think that was for Le'Veon Bell.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the year I won a championship? Or was
that was the year that Geese won the championship.
Yeah. So you won a championship based off my trade.
Despite it, yes.
You guys, I don't understand. So what is this, my 4th year in this league, right? This is my 4th year.
Yes.
The first year I went to, the finals or something? Next year I won it. And last year I had a terrible year.
You went to the semifinals.
But I had the best team that year. I did. If that Geese championship is under protest, he had an ungodly terrible team that year. I have no idea how he won it. It was like fantasy gods. Dave should have beaten you. I should have beaten you, and I would have blown out Dave by 100 points. Yeah, everybody should have beaten you. You had a terrible team.
Meanwhile, he won. It doesn't matter if you had the best team.
Again, look.
By the way, I had the best team that year.
No, my team was better than yours, and I would have blown you out in the finals. But next year I won it, and last year I had a bad year. So we'll see. Look, if I'm dominating this year, that's 3 out of 4 years. I think most people would sign up for that. I had the best record in the league that first year, and I won the championship the next year.
All right, so
maybe I know what I'm doing.
And maybe you don't. I don't know.
I love the draft analysis. And the draft analysis was, who's that guy? Geese didn't even know who Gibson was. You don't know anything about him.
You didn't know who Burrow was.
Gibson, let me educate you on Gibson. He's going to be the best running back on the team. And as the year goes on, not early on, but give him 5-6 games, this guy's going to be averaging 15 to 20 points a game.
Is this Gibson.com?
No, look.
Gibson.com. He's the best athlete on the team. He's in on all the passing situations. They're going to be playing from behind. That guy's a steal. Let me educate you on Gibson because I know you like to use him in your Shafto trade mock trade scenario.
I'm just saying, he's Dalvin Cook caliber.
He might be better than Dalvin Cook at the end of the year, and next year he might be going higher than Dalvin Cook in drafts. How's Dalvin Cook doing for you
All right,
this year?
we'll keep an eye on Gibson.
Doing pretty well considering how bad the team is.
Yeah.
No, look. I think it's a philosophy that you have, and I think that you benefit immensely from trades. I mean, the year that you won the championship, you traded for Ezekiel Elliott and Christian McCaffrey.
Oh no, let's not go into that Shafto trade from Nick Sperry. Look, even you have to laugh.
I know.
No, God.
Even he has to laugh. Come on.
So let's just
let me just clarify.
Up. First of all, okay, let's back up. The year I made the trade, the Christian McCaffrey deal, I traded Odwin, Devontae Adams, who was a number 1 wide receiver. That year, I think he was a number 1 wide receiver. And this is Christian McCaffrey before he became Christian McCaffrey.
And Ricky
so
Seals Jones.
Easy.
Don't forget
So
the
it's
second
very-
half of that. Ricky Seals Jones. Have we heard of him since? Is he one of your top prospects?
I'm surprised he's not on your team
No,
now.
he's
What,
gone.
bag groceries in C-Town?
Again, I'm pretty sure that he was
I think
like a
C-Town has
throw-in because he
self-checkout
needed a
now,
tight
so Ricky
end.
Seals Jones is out of a job as well.
But this
If
is
you recall the second half of that, legitimate trade. I'm a legitimate businessman.
we went into, for the record, like a 2-hour podcast where I explained to you that it was legitimate, and
of
Aldwin agreed with me, who was
Of
part
course
of that
he would.
trade, that it was legitimate.
If you
And
Venmoed him 20
Devontae
bucks,
Adams
shut up.
helped him that year. And I forget who I traded Zeke for. I don't
Oh,
remember.
we don't. It was the Allen brothers. Allen, the running back from Baltimore, and Keenan Allen, who lacerated his kidney again. But that was
Keenan
a
Allen and
legitimate
Schwartz? Oh,
businessman trade. Come on.
I don't remember already.
Oh, I don't remember. How convenient. I must have bumped my head.
Don't worry, nobody in the NFL remembers any of those players that you gave away.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the future. I don't want to dwell on the past.
Let's move on.
Yeah,
of
let's
course.
not dwell on the past.
I just want my fantasy
Let's move
statue.
on. Let's not dabble in the past.
Okay,
Look,
so okay.
How many years do I have to dominate before I'm the Mount Rushmore of fantasy?
I
And
will
the
a lot more.
championship this year, get me on Mount Rushmore.
No.
2 out of 4 years, 50% of the time. That's the goal.
First of all, look.
One of the things you're most well known for is the term Shafto trade. So,
That's Dave's branding. Here it comes Trump.
oh, here we go.
Trumpito. There we
Brand.
go.
I know I'm a master marketer.
Dave's
I know.
Master brander.
I'm a master
You got the
brander.
whole league. You got the whole league sending you text message and screenshots of every trade. Do you think I don't know that they're going to you?
Yeah.
Dave's branding. Okay.
It's all part of the strategy.
It's all part of the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Strategy is that. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I gotta wear you down.
Wear me
I gotta wear
down?
you down, Dave. Yeah.
I'm
Dave, the thing with you is you want to trade with me, but now you can't because you branded yourself into a corner. So
I don't
we
want to
played
trade
this week, right?
Look, honestly, I don't want to trade with
So
anyone.
This is the comeback tour. So first was Geese. He opened up his mouth. So that was a 60-point beatdown. You're this week.
So it was.
I'm gunning for you.
I know you're getting for me, and you might get me, but that's like
Dave's secret crush coming right for Dave.
But yeah, that's fine, and you might win. But I'm saying,
I want to hear all the hard hitting analysis for somebody who spent $95 in Christian McCaffrey. 95, almost 50% of their budget. That you guys don't comment on, but
we haven't had a chance. It just happened. Listen for tonight.
No. This is the draft. I'm talking about the draft.
What about
that? Didn't get as much attention as my team, which was shit all over on, and every single analyst, and I use the term loosely, picked against me against Geese, who was What was it?
We pick
Baldwin
about-
said
do we-
I was going to score under 100 points. Nick and Mandy Friedman, part of the Hackettstown crew over there, was really talking it up. As if you guys, like, I can work circles around you guys in fantasy. It's geez, you couldn't even name half the players that were on my team. You were like, who's that? Who's that? Like, you don't even know half the guys in the team. You're betting on you're betting $100 on guys that are the marquee names, but you don't know past the first 15 guys. You got to do the research and know the rest of the guys out there. There's other good players besides Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara.
I can't argue with this.
It's true.
There are. I mean, you could build a team, but I just want to get it clear. I just want to get one thing clear. First of all, I can't trade because you want to talk about branding and reputations. No matter what trade I have, the league goes, I could trade away one of my best players. Hold on for 1 second. We're gonna let Manny into this discussion as well.
Wow. Yeah. Here's another genius.
Wow.
Manny? Well, he's connecting. But anyway, I can't make a trade.
Get him and his brother on.
No, it's just a picture. I can't make a trade. You want to talk about branding? I can't make a trade for anyone without the league going into an uproar, saying that I've somehow, I don't know. The league comes to a standstill whenever I make a trade. So I just don't trade. You're already on the air.
Welcome,
There's no introduction. We're already interviewing.
Man.
We're already interviewing Eugene in the middle of.
Here's the Hackettstown Matthew Berry. And another guy predicted I was going to score less than 100 points, right? I just don't see it. I listened to the podcast, like, I don't see it. I don't know where those points are going to come from. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. I think that was the quote.
Remind me of a Tony Romo.
Yeah. No, Tony Romo is actually good.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm
projecting.
So he says you remind me of a Tony Romo, and you said Tony Romo's actually good. That's your response.
No. I'm saying Tony Romo is actually good at projecting what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make a prediction that I'm going to score less than 100 points and that every single analyst on your podcast picked against me. And then I get a 60-point beatdown. You're going to eat those words.
I'm certainly eating them like a hoagie.
Manny, thoughts?
Well, I won last week.
Well,
I have
that has
nothing to
nothing to
say.
do with the projections or the picks that you made.
Oh.
Look, we're focusing on one narcissist at a time.
That's right. We're talking about me.
No, we're focusing on the Eugene narcissism, not your narcissism. We'll get to that later.
I don't know who you played, Manny.
I played Trey, who laid an egg.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't know who he played because he's a narcissist. He only pays attention to his own team.
Tillett scored the high point of the week last year. Last week against me. I didn't actually have a bad week. If you look, I have the second most points scored in this league.
All right, Nick's joining us too, by the way.
Look at all the analysts are here.
I know all of the analysts are here. Exactly.
Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith, that must be me.
Mike Kellerman.
Should I be offended? Is Dave Stephen A. Smith?
Dave's trying to be a Kellerman.
I want to be an Eisen.
Smooth.
I want to be Chris. I want to be Rich Eisen.
No, you're not Rich Eisen. You're. I
didn't say I am. I want to.
You're like You're not Mike Wilbon. You're a Tony Kornheiser.
He's Kellerman because Kellerman always says Brady fell off a cliff. And that's why he dumped Brady.
Kornheiser.
You're definitely Kornheiser.
Yeah, I'll give you that. An old crabby Jew.
Crabby Jew.
I have the hair. I have the whatever hair of Kornheiser.
You look more like Barry though, with a bald head. You look more like Barry.
Is Nick even here, or is he just here to show pictures?
Hey, he's just trying to say 201 points. That's all he has to show.
I should have changed the logo to the score. Like I haven't. I took a picture of that. I should use it.
Nick,
I may use it for my Zoom meetings this week.
This is all I got.
Well,
Nick, I was just talking about how much I love Josh Jacobs, one of your Raider guys.
Jacobs
had him
comes
pegged in.
through.
I was targeting him the whole way through the draft. I was saying I wanted to get him. That was my number one target for running backs.
I was
thought he was
surprised.
going to go cheaper.
Yeah.
I forget what I paid for him, Dave. I don't think I got him as that expensive.
Jacobs?
I know I was saving up for him.
45. You didn't get anybody for that expensive. He was your most expensive player.
But that's who I was targeting. Him and I like Sanders.
I was targeting half-eaten bologna sandwiches in the dumpster.
That's who started for your team this weekend.
I wanted Edwards-Helaire too, but
that would have cost money.
He went for too much. That would have cost money, so it was over my budget.
Right. Yeah. Well,
is Nick here?
I am here.
Well, how about that Cincinnati defense?
The rule I should have remembered it is never ever take a defense that's playing on Thursday night. I don't think it's ever worked. It doesn't even know how bad the team is that they're going up against, which I thought Cleveland was bad. It always falls apart. But I got desperate. I think I was trying to get Washington, but someone had already gotten them. So
you don't want Washington.
Apparently not. Well,
the football team? Somebody had the football team.
$14. Best $14 I ever spent.
Yes.
Oh, good God. Was that what you took it for the Arizona game?
Mm-hmm.
Oof. All right. Well, since we are, we're taking up Eugene's interview time. I know you want to go to your game, and plus he's on dial-up anyway. As anybody who's ever played him in a league game, in a video league game, knows he runs dial-up. So let's give you an opportunity before we let you go, or we'll give you some parting shots too. But let's give you an opportunity to go over your score of last week.
I want you guys to
People
catch me
think
gloating.
that he waited that long to draft. That's all his internet was showing him at that point.
Exactly. By the time it actually logged on, that's all that was left.
The draft, that's who was left.
Right. Exactly.
I want actually, Geese. Can we play last week's podcast as you guys are going through this game? That's what I would really like.
We do need that. We do need.
I have Geese take me through their projections.
We have it. You could go watch it online.
Yeah,
I encourage everybody to watch.
Picked against me.
We were making fun of Will Fuller. There's a goose egg.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that far.
Sure.
Okay. So, well, go ahead. Go through your
game. If I had
game.
to get a jersey as far as the league, I would get the He Hate Me jersey, like the old XFL.
Right.
That would be my jersey for this league. What do you want me to go through? I dominated every stage of the game. Special teams, defense,
wide receivers. You dominated. I mean,
Well,
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right here.
Hurt.
I'm looking at it right here. 5.9 points total for your wide receivers. You dominated in wide receivers.
Look, I already went through the AJ Green thing and the Fuller thing. Terry McLaurin was a monster. And everybody else did work on the team. So can you imagine if Fuller didn't get hurt, how many points I would have?
I literally can't imagine Fuller not getting 200.
Hurt. Right, exactly.
What did Fuller have the first week? He had like 20 points, right?
Death tax and Will Fuller getting hurt.
Look, I said earlier before you guys got on, if I get 10 healthy games out of Will Fuller and he performs at a top wide receiver on that team, it's worth it to me. I didn't pay that much to get him. Is he going to be hurt? So even if he's hurt 6 games, which I think is a lot, it's almost half a season, it's worth it for me to get that kind of production out of him. Him and AJ Green are one wide receiver. If one of those guys is healthy, they're going in my lineup.
Good. I'm very happy about that. I hope that they're both in your lineup this weekend. Okay.
I do think you were lucky in this game. Like, if Dallas wasn't down, 34-10 or whatever, and came back, I mean, Prescott wouldn't have been throwing the ball that much. They would have been running it with Elliott. So, I mean,
So if my grandmother had balls, she'd be my grandfather. That doesn't mean anything.
I'm just saying,
I don't know.
I'm just saying
about
like if
Brandon.
So you're like. If I didn't throw all those touchdowns.
I'm just saying, going forward, I wouldn't be as optimistic as you are.
So
look, it's
wait,
2020.
so you're saying
if your grandmother had balls, she could still be your grandmother. That doesn't mean anything anymore.
So just to be clear, Manny, is your argument that if Dak Prescott didn't throw all those touchdowns, he wouldn't be as good? Because yes, I
I'm
would
just
agree with
saying
that.
you accumulated those points based on the score of that game, based on the way that
and there was
game went.
also 3 fumbles like early in that game that caused turnovers, so they were playing from behind. So did Elliott's fumble or who else fumbled in that game contribute to that? Yeah, but you can.
The score of this game notwithstanding, I mean, you touting Jacobs, he had 13 points. You're acting like he had
Jacobs
34 or 40. He had 13.
If you watch that game, Jacobs had like close to 30 carries in that game, if not more. I don't remember. It was like 28, 30.
The problem with
and they were just running the clock out towards the end of that game.
I mean,
they
it's
also
still a great score, but more to what Manny said, I think that a lot of these things were that it was a great Atlanta game that, Prescott exploded for 41 points. Fuller, you got lucky with, 0 points. A.J. Green had 5. Fuller had 13. I saw the Sanders touchdown that he actually scored is because the Rams fumbled the kickoff and they got it at the 1, and he rushed in for a touchdown. So he essentially had 13. Kelsey's one of the best tight ends.
Sanders had about 100 yards in that game and several catches. So he had a good game by all accounts.
Of course, it all totaled up to 20 points.
You guys are complaining about the fumbles happening in the game, interception. Turnovers happen in the game. That's football.
I'm just saying going forward, I wouldn't be so optimistic about your team.
So I'm
you had a good week. There's no denying it. Our projections on the last podcast.
I don't think I had a good week. I think I had a bad week.
So this wasn't an outlier? This is your normal projection every week?
I think Prescott had a little better than average, but I project Prescott for like about 27 to 30 points every week.
That's
good for about 15.
Lamar numbers.
Yeah.
Wait, so
I have Prescott as the 4th best quarterback this year in my rankings. After Lamar, Mahomes, and Russell Wilson, he was 4th.
Okay.
Tell me who else is better than Prescott.
When they're playing the Falcons, nobody.
No. Look, Prescott is a quality quarterback. I'm not going to argue with that. My feelings on
Aaron Rodgers in my lineup, and I still beat you by like 50. So Aaron Rodgers, who I had in this week at quarterback, made absolutely no difference. I got hurt by Fuller, so you could add another 10. If I had a healthy lineup, add another 10, 15 points to that, conservatively. Jacobs, the game script wasn't there. He was just running the ball, and they were running the clock out. He's a beast. I love him. He scored 3 touchdowns the first week. Sanders is going to do what he did this week every single week. That's the projection. He's going to average 20.
He's going to average 20. Miles Sanders, put it on the board. 20 points for Miles Sanders every week. We're going to factor that in. Don't worry. The Sanders 20.
We're going to do the Sanders watch for you.
Sanders is a top 10 running back this year. If he stays healthy, he's a top 10 running back.
Okay.
Kelsey,
noted.
You McLaurin.
I can't wait.
McLaurin,
tell me someone,
those points were in garbage.
Please tell me someone tracks this.
We are. Trust me, Miles Sanders is going to be one of the most famous running backs in this league this season. We're going to have the Miles Sanders watch. Okay, he's going to average 20. Average 20. Okay, he might. Kelsey was good, 24.
Are you taking the position against?
That Miles Sanders does not average 20?
If healthy, I project him out for 20 points.
Okay.
All right.
We're noted.
Any problems with Kelsey?
If the opposing team fumbles their kickoff at the 1, Sanders will average 20 points every game.
Look, I'm gonna factor in your 20 points no matter what in every game. I got the Sanders 20. It's good. Okay. Kelsey was good. He has a normal average game. McLaurin 25 points. Good game from him. 12 from your kicker and 7 from your defense. All right, let's look at your bench.
Want to go to the bench?
Yeah, let's go to the bench. DJ Moore with 20. You sat him. I mean, you love him so much that you sat him.
Love DJ Moore.
I know you love him.
Love Moore.
You love him.
Feel free to debate me on him too.
You love him. You got 20. You loved him so much that you put him on the bench for two guys that got 0 and 5.
Well, I thought Fuller was going to be healthy, so that was a mistake.
That is a mistake to ever think that.
But nobody knew that he was going to be healthy.
Nobody knew that he wasn't going to be healthy. Where's the tape on that one? Can we have the
I
tape
didn't
on
know
that
that Fuller
one?
was going to get hurt.
Nobody knew. Nobody could have predicted that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
He was healthy the first week.
And if my grandfather had a pussy, he would still be my grandfather. What's your point?
Or he'd be your grandmother.
Either way, whatever fluid he wanted to go with. I'm just saying.
Oh, and Gibson, 12 points from Gibson on a bad game script.
It's Washington. It's always a bad game script. It's a terrible writer. It's like the writer of Sharknado. He's always going to have a bad game script. How many games do you think the football team is going to be, dominating into the fourth quarter? Dobbins, 7.1?
Yep.
Is that a good game for him?
Dobbins took a shot on the rookie. Dobbins is a rookie. I don't see him playing early on. But if somebody gets hurt, he's probably going to the most
got like
talented
7
back
running
on that
backs in
team.
Baltimore.
But Ingram and Edwards, 3.
And Connor Lamb, you're
And
one.
Lamar.
Three.
Lamar
Gus
was
Edwards,
like-
Mark Ingram, and Dobbins. But guess who's the best running back on that team? It's Dobbins.
Okay. Is he going to average 20?
Ohio State.
Is he the best running back on your team? That's the question. Is he going to get 20? Is he going to get to Sanders 20?
No, he's not.
No,
he's not.
No, nobody's better than Sanders.
Next, if this was a keeper league, he would be a first or second round pick next year. But look,
If it was a keeper league,
he's
then
more
you
of an
wouldn't,
injury.
then he wouldn't be a
He
pick.
stands
You'd already
out.
on your team. Okay.
I got him for free. If somebody gets hurt on that team, he's a beast on that team.
And what was your
I'm not expecting.
What was your
much from him
rationale
first half of the season
that Lamb trade with for Landry and Le'Veon Bell?
Which side of the deal do you like there?
I actually like Gronky Kong's side of the deal. I mean, Lamb is decent, but
Okay. So you're saying he got the Shapdo trade on me?
no, I'm not. I think it's pretty even. I'm just saying I think he slightly edged you. But what was your rationale behind offering that trade?
I like CD Lamb's upside. I think he was the best wide receiver coming out of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think on a high potent offense, it gives me another wide receiver in case Fuller is hurt, as just more of insurance. Bell's hurt, so I have enough running backs
Mm-hmm.
where if anything I could plug Gibson in and get me 12, 15 points, so I'm fine. And I was just telling Dave and Geese before, I didn't love Bell, and that was the one guy in the draft that didn't really care about it. Just sort of fell into him. I thought he was cheap, and I was probably just trying to jack the price up. So I like CD's upside. I like the offense. Blake Jarwin got hurt there, so they're targeting more wide receivers. Gallup is not existent in that offense, so it's him and Cooper soaking up all the targets. He scored over 100. I think he had over 100 yards this week, and he's probably the best wide receiver on that team already. Is he going to put up Amari Cooper numbers? Maybe not in a rookie year, but I like him going for the second half of the season if he develops into an elite option. Maybe not early on, but it's more for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Landry. I felt like it was an even trade both sides, and I just liked his upside. Am I wrong? It wasn't like going to make or break my team as far as my roster goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, and the Browns' offense is dysfunctional. Well, I mean, they did well, but against a crappy Bengals team. But in general,
Landry's solid. He's got a solid high floor. He's a high floor, but doesn't have the same upside that CD Lamb has for me. So I have a lot of easy floor guys like DJ Moore, who's going to give me 15 points every week. So I have CD Lamb could give me 20, 25 as opposed to, or he could give me, like 5. He's more of a low ceiling, high.
Did you say DJ Moore was going to give you 15 points every week?
Yeah, I think DJ is more is like 14, 15. Yeah.
Oh, totally. Every week. Okay.
I mean, CD.
He's good for like 7-8 receptions and 80 yards a game, Dave. That's 15 points.
Or nine targets for receptions for 54 yards. Either way. I mean,
What did he have this week? 8 for 120. So wait, so 9 targets and 13 targets. Okay, just so clear. So how many? So let's call it an average of 21. So it's 10.5 targets a game. If he catches 6 to 7 of them for 70, 80 yards, that's 15 points.
You're calling it an average of 21 targets?
Well, 9 and 13 is 21. 22, I'm sorry. That's 11. So that's 11 targets. And out of 11 targets, receptions. You figure what, 6 or 7 receptions, right?
You want to do the average, it's 6 receptions.
Yeah. 120 and 54, you're talking about 174 yards divided by 2. That's 15 points a game. Right?
150 plus 60,
Dave, look at Yahoo's
90.
Dave, look at Yahoo's projections. They're projecting for 17.82 points.
I get what they project.
I'm low. That was a conservative estimate by me.
Look, he's got Teddy Bridgewater throwing to him with no running backs. Now, he might get actually an increase in volume because they have to throw. They're going to have to throw it constantly. I'll give you that.
So he's the best wide receiver in the team. In fact, his numbers should go up, right?
Yes,
based on what you just said.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you like more then? Just for the record. You had him last year.
Yeah.
And you agree he's the best wide receiver of the team, and his targets will only increase now that McCaffrey's out.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct on all of that.
So we're on the same page.
We are on the same page on that.
Okay.
Who'd you go get last year when you thought it was going to be the good guy, though, when I picked up more out of the trash bin? Samuel,
I don't think
right?
You picked up more out of the trash bin.
No, I picked up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I picked up more like at the beginning of the season. You were the one who went after Samuel, thinking that he was the guy.
I'm pretty sure that's not accurate, but I don't even think I had Samuel last year, did it?
Pretty sure you did.
I don't think so.
Maybe it was somebody else.
Yep. You're thinking of somebody else.
I'm thinking of somebody else. All right. You want to? Well, I'll let you comment on Giza's game if you want to even bother.
I mean, aside from, I don't know what to say about his team. Aside from Cook, who I think is overrated on that shitty team.
You think he's overrated?
I think I like Cook. I just think that offense is trash. I hate Kirk Cousins. Absolutely hate him.
As does Minnesota.
Look, so he's got Trubisky against the Giants defense, which is the worst defense, I think, in NFL. Put up 17. Trubisky's trash. Watkins, I could have told you he's good week 1, and then he sucks the rest of the season.
I mean, everybody could have told him that. Everybody did try to
trash.
And everybody literally tried to tell him that.
Corey Davis, I mean, I think they had a couple injuries on the team with A.J. Brown, so I guess it was a solid pickup. He's never lived up to potential. And you have Cook. Gordon, splits carries over there with Lindsey and going up against the Steelers defense, so he wasn't going to get much. With Logan Thomas, who's an ex-quarterback playing tight end. Peterson is like the triple timeshare over there. I mean, do I have to go through his team? I mean, it's...
No, you don't have to. I'm asking you to comment on the parts of his game that you'd like to.
There's no parts of Gaze's game that I liked. I thought his team was trash. I think every analyst that picked against me in this game was probably... I don't know if you guys really believe that or you were just trying to egg me on. I can't fathom why you would think that my team would score less than 100 points and it was going to be a close battle and that Gies would come out on top.
I never said you'd be under 100. If you want to, my actual prediction, I can't speak for the rest, but I could say that my actual prediction was that you would meet in the middle of your projections. That you would meet somewhere around 115, 112. I thought that his was too low and yours was too high. I was wrong on both ends. I'll eat my crow on that one. Giza's apparently was too high and yours was too low. So I was exactly wrong. I will admit it.
So let's go forward to next week's because I got to hop off soon.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go to this week's game. Here you go. You could
I'll let
analyze
you
it.
guys. I'll let you guys comment on it, and then I'll tell you what I think.
We'll do
Because I want to hear this. What's Yahoo projecting? 74% favorite. Okay.
Yeah, 74-26. I'm
Go
only supposed
ahead.
to get 106, which, by the way, is up. It was 98 yesterday or something like that. Yeah. I mean, this is going to be another.
Wow.
This is going to be another blowout. I know.
Nope.
I don't even know.
Go
I
ahead.
shouldn't.
I want to hear Geese. I want to hear Manny, Nick. Get Aldrin on here. I want to hear all the prognosticators.
Well, last week was at the time that we did the podcast. Was Michael Thomas listed as out or questionable? Because that says a lot. Too.
He was out.
He was out.
He was out at that point.
Yep. You're not getting squirming your way out of that one.
There's no look.
He was out.
Look, I'm eating crow this week. I'm not going to squirm my way out. I was completely wrong. Mea culpa on that. I have no. We were just wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to be wrong this week because I always pick my opponent.
I think you're going to be right.
I might be. We'll see.
I mean, who knows? Josh Jacobs might not play. Or I don't know what that injury is. I think
I
it was
don't know
hobbled
either.
part, but I think he's going to be okay. Who are they playing?
All right, you want to look at your
Great.
team? Okay. This is actually one of the times that I actually do think that you're going to win. I looked at this already. So obviously, being this is look, we can't hide the fact that I'm suffering from the McCaffrey loss. But on top of that, you got Prescott going at Seattle and Lamb.
I could give you Mike Davis. I think I have him on my team.
You don't. Geese has Mike Davis.
Who did I get?
Oh, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike Davis. Mike Davis. No, never mind. You do have Mike Davis. You do.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, really? I'm like, did I get him?
No. You're right. You do have Mike Davis. I thought the other Davis. No. So you have Prescott and Lamb at Seattle. They're going to do really well. I mean, like those Seattle games have been really high scoring, as of the Dallas. You're going to do fine right there. You're going to get a lot of points out of those two players.
Do you think I'm going to score more points than Trubisky and Cole?
Out of those two, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I think Trubisky might keep pace with Prescott. He's playing the Bears.
He's got a good. He's playing Trubisky's playing Atlanta.
Right. I think he'll do fine this week. I think that he'll probably get around 30 something.
Yeah.
But I think that Prescott and him will be about the same.
30's a lot, by the way.
I know. But I think Prescott's going to exceed that. I think he's going to get like 36.
Okay. You don't think Atlanta's going to come out firing after that loss?
Yeah,
no, they're just going to be demoralized. Dan Quinn should be fired. I mean,
I do think they'll be demoralized, but I do think that they're high-scoring games. I just think that it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah. Okay.
But okay, all right. Then you want to look at the
let's go N'Keal Harry against McLaurin. Who do you like there? So the only thing I don't like about the McLaurin matchup is he's going up against the Ward, who's a cornerback at Cleveland. Who they're going to stick on him? That's going to be a tough matchup. So if he has good numbers against Ward, who's probably top 3 corner in the league, I like McLaurin going forward. He was beating double teams left and right last week.
Sure. I mean, he could be good. I mean, look, Harry.
He was good last year. He was a top 15 wide receiver.
Yeah. I look. I agree. He's a good player. Harry. Look, he's only he. You want to talk about targets? He gets a ton of targets.
I like Harry. I picked him up in another league. I don't like him as much as McLaurin, but if he's maybe able to get a touchdown for you, you could have a good week with Harry.
Yeah, I mean, Cole has been, look, he's been really good, and Chark is a little bit injured right now, and he hasn't been performing as well either. And he's sitting on my bench anyway. So okay.
I like Jones. And Jacobs to me normally would be even, except for New England matchup is not great.
Right.
New Orleans is not that. I mean, it has a pretty good defense too. It's the run.
Yeah.
But Jones has been beasting. I mean, he's the best running back right now in the league, points wise.
Sanders obviously gets.
I would probably give you the edge there. Plus, Jacobs is a little bit backed up.
Sure.
Banged up.
All right. Sanders is going to get to Sanders 20. We know
he should get 20, maybe more against Cincinnati.
At least 20.
Fournette, depending. I mean, I don't know if he's going to start taking over the carries. I just don't know what to make of him. it was Ronald Jones, and he fumbled, and then he got into Arians' doghouse, and then Fournette. I mean, aside from that big run, he didn't have that great of a game. So if he breaks another run, I think Denver is going to try to keep it close and probably run the ball because they have a new quarterback.
He also got the other. It wasn't just a run.
So,
he had a touchdown. Well, first of all, he had a reception.
No, he had a big run for a touchdown. He had like a 60-yard run for a touchdown or something.
He had like 2 touchdowns, I believe.
No, he had 1.
2 touchdowns.
Two.
Yeah.
12 carries for 102 yards is pretty ridiculous. He's not averaging 10 yards a carry again.
Look, I agree with that, but I think I only have so many options at running back.
Plus, they're playing at Denver. That's not an easy place to play in. I like
decent rush defense.
I like Sanders over Fournette, if that's your question. Then I like Kelsey over Goddard, who's technically the second best tight end of that team.
He gets a lot of targets, though.
I like more over
Ravens
Kelly.
Game should be a shootout, too.
What?
That Chiefs-Ravens game should be a shootout as well.
And I like more over
it's not
Kelly.
always, but yeah.
So,
yeah,
I'll give you Jones. I like Harry if he scores a touchdown against the Raiders, but the Raiders have been good this year. So it depends on how the game script goes. I mean, if New England's playing from behind, they've been running the ball a lot, both with Cam and with the rest of their lineup. AJ Green's a possible play here, depending on he's matched up against Philly.
Please do, and Fuller.
Even Mike Davis is not a bad matchup here.
Yeah, no, definitely. Please.
So depending on what happens, look, if Jacobs is banged up, Davis or Gibson are going in. So,
yeah, I mean, let's look what they're saying. Hip did not practice. Darren Waller was also sidelined. These are not new.
I don't mind him being left out this week. This is like a bye week for me.
I mean, I know it is.
Yeah, I'd have to go with you this week, but I mean, 139 is a high projection. I'm not sure if you'll get that, but you should win this game comfortably.
No, I
Manny picking again for me. Now I'm starting to second guess myself.
Yeah, well, there you go, Nick. You even there?
I am. Yeah, I like Eugene's team a lot. Dave, I don't know if you necessarily.
This is a big turnaround from last week when literally everybody hated my team and everybody picked against me.
Well, you're also going up against a team that's basically their best players decimated. Like almost 50% of the team's salary went to one player that's no longer there. So,
but last week I was going up against probably the worst team in the league, and everybody picked against me.
The worst team in the league by record, yes.
So I was playing by saying you like the worst team in the league over mine. That implies I'm the worst team in the league. So now I'm playing Dave,
and
everybody loves my team.
No, look, you're not the worst team in the league. It's not last year.
Okay. It's this year. That's right.
I know this year you're not the worst team in the league. You're the defending worst team in the league, but you're not. You haven't given up that title. I'm pretty sure you will give up that.
Also, ex-champ. You got to forget to mention that.
Yeah, I remember 2 years ago. You're the one who went from first to worst.
That's right.
Yeah.
I go all in.
On the Mount Rushmore plaque that will be put up there, it's going to say Shafto trade, first to worst. Can you do first to worst to first? Is that what you're planning on doing now?
According to Manny, I was the one that got ripped off in the CD Lamb trade.
It's such an insignificant trade. It's like watching like what's in the dumpster trash. I just don't care. It was like so
a very
boring.
Significant trade.
I mean, okay. It was such a boring trade. I'm actually more entertained by the Shafto trades that you think are actually legit trades that you try to pass. I still don't know. I still don't know if you're delusional or if you're in on the joke.
Hey, why haven't you offered me any trades, Eugene? You don't see anyone on my team that's worth it?
I forget who you have on your team, but probably not.
Yeah, Eugene, upon further consideration, the the Lions looked at your offer of Will Fuller, we decided to collectively say no.
You guys have your minds made up on Fuller.
You've been offering Gronky Kong a lot of trades.
Did I? I forget. What did I offer him? Didn't I accept the trade with him? That was the CDM.
Yeah, that was
trade,
the one you accept. Yeah. But you were like with me last year. You were testing the new guy to see if
that always happens. I'm sure Whalers did too.
Yeah. Yeah, Whalers offered him a bunch.
Whalers has been very busy.
Yeah, he's desperate for a receiver.
When you're posting something on the main message board, that's desperation time.
For what?
I sent him a trade offer. It might have been that he laughed and was like, "Stop kidding, stop joking, or stop kidding me."
Exactly.
I like to send him trade offers just to get a rise because I know who I'm dealing with.
Who are you dealing with?
I'm dealing with a Liverpool fan. He's loved them since he was 8 years old. I'm the Laker fan and the Yankee fan.
The Maverick, yeah. He is a Yankee fan.
Yeah. Oh, that's a surprise. I didn't expect that. It's weird.
I know, it is weird.
It's weird. Mm-hmm. He's a Chiefs fan too, right?
He's a Giants fan.
Yeah.
Front running everything. All right. Anything else that you want to comment on? I think Geese has
taken dumb number 3.
Yes. So
just before I leave this podcast.
Right.
So I remember you guys shitting literally everybody who was on the podcast for the first 2 weeks. How poor of a draft it was. Literally. How shitty my draft was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How you hated Fuller.
Still
more.
Do. I still do.
Still do.
I could have sworn I heard Gee say Kelsey was the only good player on my team.
Probably
and if I would package up Jacobs, Kelsey, and Sanders, maybe I could get one good guy on my team. That was, I think, his direct quote.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Okay.
I don't know if it was, but sure.
I thought Jacobs and Kelsey were your 2 good picks. Other than that, I wasn't a fan. But, I mean, Prescott, too. Okay. As he's one of the –
So, Prescott, Kelsey –
I definitely like Jacobs.
Sanders?
I think everybody liked Jacobs.
Not really.
So, wait. Well, okay.
I just don't think
you don't think Miles Sanders is good?
Decent. He's a decent RB2, but I don't think he maintains –
RB2. So, you think he's somewhere between – the 13th best running back and the 24th best running back.
The lower
correct?
tier RB2 like slash flex, but nothing better than that. So if like you're
okay, what running backs do you like better than him?
Dalvin
Give me
Cook.
12 running backs.
McCaffrey, I like. So
you like McCaffrey? Okay.
The 2 that I have, I like.
So let's
Carson
go with McCaffrey. Better. You like Chris Carson better than Miles Sanders?
I do.
That's just wrong, but okay. How did Carson do this week?
He did pretty well, 19 points.
Okay. Sanders had 20, right? That's better.
All right. I mean, I still have ESPN's draft thing right here. So ESPN.
Okay. Where did Miles Sanders go on ESPN rankings? Which I don't even agree with, but let's go on ESPN. Who do they have Sanders? Carson or Sanders? Who's higher?
Carson was number 39 total. He's the RB.
That's not like
RB 15. He's RB 15.
Okay.
Okay. So all right. So according to them, McCaffrey's 1, Saquon 2, Elliott 3, Dalvin Cook 4, Kamara 5, Derrick Henry 6, Edwards-Helaire 7, Miles Sanders 8.
Ooh.
There you go.
So I guess Sanders is better than based on ESPN projections.
On ESPN's projections.
Oh, that's ESPN. I would bet you any money you get me 10 different fantasy sites that in every single one of those sites, Sanders is listed higher than Chris Carson. Any money. I'll take it right now. You pick a site. I'll let you pick right now. And I bet you that Sanders is rated higher than Carson.
I'm not.
You want to take the bet?
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that like in past fantasy years, he's never been like a make or break player.
When you say past fantasy years, this is his second year. You do know that, right?
Yeah,
He was a
last
rookie last
okay.
year. It
All
sounds
right,
like you don't know much about him because last year he was his first rookie year, and I think he finished the year probably the 11th or 12th back, even though he didn't play early. He was dominant the last 6 weeks. He was probably scoring 25 to 30 points a game. So you should probably know those stats before going into the fantasy football season. And like to make the comparison that Carson's even in the realm of him, because he's 8th and 15th, that's a big gap. Carson was going in the 3rd, 4th round of any snake draft, whereas in Sanders was being drafted universally either end of 1st round or early 2nd round in every single round by experts.
Maybe I'm talking because I don't really trust the team that much, but I mean, okay, he's good, but
so you agree that you're incorrect in your analysis?
I don't think he's like the top tier guy. Like the
but Manny, let's just back up. You didn't even know that this was his 2nd year in the league. It's fair to say that you probably don't know much about the player because you said in past seasons, as if he played 3-4 seasons, you didn't even know who he was.
All right.
Wow, I'm seeing like slices of the trial lawyer in there. It's amazing.
I mean,
wow, maybe you're not as much of a joke as of a human being as I thought. That's impressive.
You didn't even know who he was. You claim Chris Carson, who's like a 4th round draft pick, was better than a guy who's drafted in the 1st or 2nd round by every single expert site out there. And to you, Chris Carson was better.
I look a lot.
You
when
didn't
I
know.
draft.
Just admit it.
Okay.
Just admit it. You
I
didn't
look
know
a
who
lot
he was.
at the team that they play on.
Your Honor, objection.
Who he played
Objection.
On. So just by your logic, you think that every single fantasy expert out there just ignored the team that he played on? Do you think they didn't take that into consideration when basing his fantasy draft?
What I'm saying is I would never draft Saquon because, he's a great player, but he plays for a crappy team. That's why you hate Le'Veon Bell.
That's not why I hate Le'Veon Bell.
I'm not comparing Philly to
Don't
those
tell me
teams.
why I hate a certain player. So Saquon Barkley, even though he played in a shitty team, in the 1st year and 2nd year, put up almost 2,000 scrimmage yards in the 1st year and had about, 1,500 last year, even though he was banged up for half the season. So the type of team you play on doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad player. Just because you're in a bad team, you could still put up monster fantasy numbers. Terry McLaurin, as a rookie, put up monster fantasy numbers on a shitty Washington Redskins team. So if you're going based on, they play on a shitty team, that's a very bad fantasy strategy going in. So
I've had success
just for future
with my
reference.
strategy. I'm just
okay. Look, you do you. You had Chris Carson ahead of Miles Sanders apparently.
That's the way
based
I
on
think.
every
I
single expert projection.
I trust that Seahawks offense more than I trust the Philly offense, and I think Wentz turns over the ball a lot. I mean, I'm not saying Sanders is bad. I'm just saying I trust.
You're saying you like Chris Carson better than Sanders. That's what you said.
You guys play each other. I'm so excited for this. Week 5.
You said you
so
like
excited.
Chris
I
Carson
can't wait for that. Circle it on your calendars, people. Week 5.
Okay. That's what I said before. I think they're roughly around the same level. I was trying to pick a guy who I would compare to him. I don't compare Sanders.
You said no. Okay. What you said was you view him as a running back 2 to 24.
I'm
not in the you said you viewed him as a flex play.
Right.
That you like 20 running backs better than him. I said name them, and you said Chris Carson. That was the guy that you came up with.
I'm backtracking on my words. I was trying to give you a guy that I would
give me another guy. Give me another guy.
Wait. I can't wait. Chris Carson plays Sanders on your team on week 5. Oh, everybody tune in to this game. Carson versus Sanders. Who's going to do better?
Give me another guy that you like better than Sanders. Give me another guy.
A guy that I would kind of put in the same realm as him, or someone better than Sanders.
You said you look at him as a low end running back 2 flex play. I said that means you view him clearly not as a top 12 guy. You look at him as somewhere in the top 24. That's what a low end flex play running back is. Running back 3, you said. So who do you like better than him? That's my question. I want to know who on your rankings.
So Miles Sanders, $46 was the projected whatever by Yahoo.
46.
Just for the
what
record.
did I get him for?
You got him for.
All right, do you like Connor more or do you like Sanders more?
I like Sanders infinitely more.
Infinitely more.
Yes.
See,
Connor's
that's
just
a kind of
trash.
Connor is a kind of guy I would put in Sanders territory. You know,
Well, that's why you're not me. You're not me. Because Connor,
You got him for 29.
I'd like to think that's value, right? For a guy who's projected as 46.
Yeah, but you can't really go back. I mean, like I said it, but you can't really go on the projections in this league. It's ridiculous. We're all over the place.
46. Wait, just so we're clear, a $46 projection is a first round running back. Correct? There's not too many guys that are going
a $46 projection is a first round. I mean, like we haven't done rounds in so long that I don't know. I mean, like
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Nick Chubb is probably another guy I put in that category of Miles Sanders.
Nick Chubb, I have closely after Miles Sanders. Nick Chubb doesn't catch the ball. It's a PPR league. Nick Chubb might get more rushing touchdowns, but Miles Sanders is going to catch the ball a lot more. Nick Chubb splits time with Kareem Hunt. Miles Sanders does not. He's the lead back there. And they're playing from behind a lot of times, like you said, because they're on a crappy team. So they throw the ball more. So Miles Sanders is a stud.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Barring injury, he'll have a crazy year. Watch.
He might. Look, admittedly, I mean, like, at least from my perspective, I don't know. You two.
All right, so I want to go through who else on my team didn't you guys like? So we got everybody liked Jacobs, right?
Everybody liked Jacobs.
Everybody likes Kelsey. Everybody likes Prescott. Apparently, I mean,
not everybody likes. I mean, like
Manny
I like
Sanders. So who else don't you like? I get Fuller. I got him for free. AJ Green. I got him for free. Who else? McLaurin. You guys don't like McLaurin?
He's fine.
So that was good value too.
Based on my logic, I would not draft him because he plays on a crappy team. But he's been performing well. He's been performing well this year. I'm not denying.
Did you see what he did last year? Do you know where he finished last year as far as wide receivers go?
He was
as a rookie.
He was good.
Yeah, he was a top 15 guy on a bad Washington team as a rookie.
I think you can look that up actually. So
look it
McLaurin.
up.
All right. So all players, all offense season. Let's see. Can we go to last season still?
All right. All I can say is I'm looking forward to play you in week 5.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it too. Everybody's looking forward to it. Wide receivers. Okay, you can do this.
As you could see, it was a Michael. I can't.
Oh wait. It would be 2019. Sorry. Okay. So by fantasy points.
Yeah.
So Cortland Sutton. What is this? Not all available players. All players. What the fuck is that? Okay. Okay. This should actually do it. Fantasy points. So Michael Thomas, 374. Chris Godwin, 276. Julio Jones, 274. DeAndre Hopkins, 270.
Let's go to where he is.
Where is he?
That's receivers.
Isn't that McLaurin? Isn't that who we're looking for?
McLaurin. Yeah. Okay. McLaurin.
Did you not know that he was a wide receiver, Manny?
No. I thought we were still talking about Sanders. Okay.
I can't even. Is he on this page? No, he's not on this page. So he's not in the top 25. We'll go to the next 25. Right, there he is. Okay. So 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
How many games did he play, by the way? How many games did he play?
14.
I don't know if it goes into that much information about it.
No, it says game played all the way on the left-hand side.
All the way on the left-hand side? Oh, yeah. 14.
14 games.
Mm-hmm.
So he was hurt for 2 games.
Okay.
And he's still, a top 20 whatever wide receiver?
No, top 27?
Yeah. So that
27.
Add 2 more games. So if you factor, he's a top 15 guy, projected top 15 guy.
Top 15. You think those 2 games are going to get him into the 15 range?
Yeah. Add in whatever the average is of 14 games, give you 191.
Let's get out the calculator. Let's because nothing is more exciting on a podcast than math. Let's do some math.
No, add another 15 points, right? 191 divided by 14.
191 divided by 14 equals 13 points. So
okay.
13
add in 20 another 26
27 points. So 27 fine plus
191
Calvin Ridley and Marvin Jones played one less game but scored more points than him.
So it gives him 218.
Okay, where does that finish him?
That finishes him just above A.J. Brown. So John Brown
that's
territory.
15th. That's 15th.
It's not 15th.
Look at that.
What? That's
Look at
not
that.
15th. This is 25. So 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. He finishes at 20.
What? I can't see. The screen is cut off, so I can't see on the left.
Is it cut off for the people who don't have dial up?
I can see. What are we looking at?
He's trying to figure out where McLaurin is. So this is the top 25 players, next 25, first 25. So, so first of all, McLaurin is not in the top 25, but he's saying, okay, he was out 2 games. We took the average of what he got, which is 13 per game. You add the 2 games in, so then he gets 27. So 218 is what he would get. So 218 puts him just above A.J. Brown, which, if this is 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, he would be 20th in the league last year.
Yeah, but you can't even go by that because as you scroll up, there's people who are like injured.
Oh, I know. Look, I'm well aware of that, but I'm using Eugene math.
Yeah.
He's not 15th.
He was also a rookie the first year. Usually people tend to get better.
I mean, okay, Mitch McConnell, you can keep moving the goal line. I know, and look,
all right, I'm sorry.
We've never.
I'll use 20th. I'll use that one.
Okay,
I'll use that top 20 wide receiver.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. See, I'm a lawyer too. Okay.
I think he's going to finish as a top 15, but okay, that's my projection.
He very well might. I'm just saying he wasn't last year. That's what we're going.
Well, okay.
No, that's fine. I look. I don't say that he's not. I don't necessarily say that he's not.
So I got another guy who's potentially anywhere between top 15 and the top 20 wide receiver late. Okay, who else don't you like on my team? DJ Moore. We already went through him, right?
Where is
you
he now?
love him?
Is he all right? McLaurin right now. See, right now he's pretty high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14th right now. So now he's in the top 15. Right now he is in the top 15.
Who, McLaurin?
Compare Chris Carson with Miles Sanders.
Well, Miles Sanders was banged up. He didn't play the first game.
All right, and injuries are part of fantasy football.
Yes, they are.
So, all right.
I don't know how to. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know how to respond to that.
I don't either.
Hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, that is
He's
true.
better than a guy who doesn't play.
I mean, Booger McFreedom. That is a Booger McFreedman comment. Injuries are part of fantasy football. I mean, that's just what you have to do when you get one of those.
I don't know how to respond to that.
One player played both games and one player played one.
Yes, that is true.
And just to stop you, I like Chris Carson. I don't like him as much as Miles Sanders.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Oh, but we can look at last year's totals of since this is so. I know the viewers are just at the
Miles
edges of their
Sanders
seats.
Last year, look at his last. He was a rookie. He didn't start early on. He was getting limited carries. Look at his last 5-6 games.
Okay, so Miles Sanders.
He was probably the fantasy football MVP the last 5-6 games.
So he played 16 games. So he only started the first 16.
No. He didn't start early on. He only got the job. They started giving him carries towards game number 10, I want to say.
So you're saying he wasn't. I know what you're saying. You're saying that he was not the number one guy.
I was saying they were easing him in as a rookie running back.
No, I get that. I'm saying I'm acknowledging what you're saying.
Yeah.
But he did play in 16 games. I'm just
yeah, but not much early on.
Yeah. Okay. So we're on the same page with that. Okay. Got 218. Yeah. I mean, that's totally respect. I mean, he's the top. Miles Sanders was. Interesting who was number 2, but whatever. I mean, 1 and 2, who drafted him? I mean, whatever. I don't know. Whatever. We'll go past that. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. By the way, Chris Carson ahead of him. 13, 14, 15.
So even though he didn't play early on, and it basically came out of the tail end of the season, he finished as the 15th best running back.
I know. I mean, Chris
As a
Carson.
rookie.
Chris
As a
Carson
rookie.
played. I mean, Chris Carson. He played 15 games.
Yeah, but maybe every single fantasy expert on every single site is not wrong, and that he's actually good.
Oh, I think that they're all wrong.
He's not bad. It's just
I think that they're right.
Manny, you can't talk about him. You don't even know how many seasons he played for or what team. You just said you don't like any guy
I
that
didn't
plays
do
on a
much
bad
research
team.
on Miles Sanders, but to me,
Okay.
I know who he is, obviously. I consider him
Look,
in the same realm as like a Nick Chubb or a
But if you didn't do much research about him, how can you make a fair comparison if you don't know anything about him?
Because this is America.
Like
you
saying,
can do whatever you want.
You're making an opinion about somebody who you admittedly just said you know absolutely nothing about.
I don't
Have you not seen this country? That's what we do here.
Why not? I would have more respect if you just said, look, I don't know much about him, and just say, move on. I don't really know much about it, so I'm not going to draft him because I don't know what I'm getting. I'd be like, okay, instead of just making an opinion about somebody you know absolutely nothing about.
No, because
where's the fun in that?
I see his impact on the Eagles. I don't study Miles Sanders. I watch the Eagles play, and I don't see much.
If you watch them play last year, you would know that he's clearly the best player on that team as far as playmaker-wise. There are no good wide receivers on that team now. Everybody's banged up. He is literally the only option on that team.
Tight ends. Goater.com says
they have
Goater.com
two
disagrees with you, but okay.
Okay.
He's not the only.
So who else?
All right,
so,
we'll
okay.
see. I think slightly overrated, but
so I just want to be clear on something because.
But you think
when
that
we
anyone
rewind the podcast we like Prescott, we like Moore, we like Sanders, we like Jacobs, we like Kelsey. Who is it that and I was supposedly the worst team. Who is it that you guys don't like besides
Nick
Fuller
and Jamie?
AJ
No. We always said Nick and Jamie is the worst team. No, let's get. They're the garbage barge.
Okay.
We never called you the garbage barge.
Geese specifically said, if I package Jacobs, Kelsey, and Sanders, maybe I could get like a Dalvin Cook. Maybe.
Okay.
So,
make him that offer then.
yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
He didn't know half the guys, similar to Manny, half the guys he was commenting on. So when I was listening to the podcast, I had to do one of these because the things that were coming out of his mouth made absolutely no sense. He didn't know half the players he was talking about. He didn't know the numbers. And that's why I was here to educate him on. But he's taking poop number 5, so I can't do that. IBS is no joke.
Look, I will. He's got the ibs. Look,
you got the Chipotle.
Look, I will say, I readily agree. The Geese.
This is my fantasy football.
What?
That he knows nothing about fantasy football.
I think the Geese.
Can we get that on the line?
No, I'm not saying that. What
so
I
you
am.
think he actually does know stuff about fantasy football?
He can.
You know when I know that. When I listen to the podcast and you'll make some kind of analysis on what you think, and then Geese will say, yeah, that's usually the point where he knows he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about and is just agreeing with whatever you said.
Okay.
He goes, yeah, I agree. There he is.
He's not mistaking it from when I'm playing video games, is he?
No. He's saying that you know nothing about fantasy football.
Well, that's fair enough, of course.
No, look. If you want to know my opinion, I think that Geese knows a lot about real football, and I don't think that he I think that he doesn't properly translate that information. It's like I say, Twitter is to real life as fantasy football is to real football. Like, I think he knows a lot about real football, and I think it's very difficult for him to translate it.
I don't know what he knows
football.
about real football.
No, because I think that he watches the games and he's like, this guy sucks. They're not passing, but they're not passing to him. They're not doing anything. But he doesn't realize that like a lot of points are gotten in garbage time. So you could have a very good fantasy player that sucks in real life. I mean, this is
I feel
bad team.
Our fantasy strategy is just totally different.
I want to win and I want to score the most points, and you want to just get guys on good teams.
Well, I look a lot at matchups, and I look a lot at their team chemistry. I don't necessarily look at the player themselves.
When you look at team chemistry, like those guys are really good friends on the team. They should put up a good number of points. Like those guys must go out to clubs together, like that kind of chemistry. Like
I'm just seeing how that.
Like a Plexico Burris. Like I want to hang out with that guy in the clubs.
No.
What do you want to have a beer
40
with?
Club. Yeah.
Just look a lot at matchups.
Just matchups. Okay.
A lot of matchups.
But you should look at matchups. I agree with matchups.
I'll let you get back to Manny in a second. But so as far as Geese, the other part is that I think that he can actually be a very good fantasy player once he sees it. I mean, like his championship run was based completely on immersing him. What?
If the word you want to use is luck, then yes, I agree with you.
I don't think it was completely luck. I think it was
complete luck.
He won.
You have to look.
I think there was a lot of luck.
Plays about a 30 to 40% chance in fantasy football. It just does. Injuries and luck. They're a big part of it. There's a lot to do with strategy. The draft is a big part of it, but in-season management.
60% of the draft.
Sure, whatever percentage you want to assign to it. But what I'm saying is he did
so
that.
I actually think that Geese is a great in-season manager.
That's my point. That season he dove into every aspect of it for those last 7 weeks.
Yes.
And he pulled a team literally out of nothing. So I think that he can be a very good analyst of what's going on in the league. Yeah. I don't think that he always is. I think he's especially not at the beginning of the season.
No, I don't think he's a good draft.
He's 0-5 every year.
Like rankings and guys, but he's a good in-season manager. He makes a lot of moves, and that I will give you. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I'm taking credit for what the Whalers does. He makes a lot of moves too.
He does.
He
does.
Whalers actually knows what he's doing. Because I could see by the picks he made.
But he also makes a lot of moves.
I hate to give him that.
Where do you
I hate to give him that, but
makes a lot of moves, but he knows what he's doing, but I
don't. Based on the short sample size that I've seen, I feel like he does know what he's doing. This year, he got a little bit unlucky. I mean, I don't have to look at his team.
Who?
He's got like the worst team in the league right now. But
who are we talking about?
Whalers.
It doesn't matter. He won't have. He's had the worst team a couple of times, like in weeks 1 and 2. He knows what knows what he's doing every time. Like you can never count that guy out. He's been in half the finals. First of all, when he's not playing NBA 2K 24 hours a day and throwing gruel at his children, I don't even know how they eat over there at the Williams household. When he's not fully immersing himself in every other sport that's going on.
They wake up in the morning in their Liverpool, Lakers, and Yankee jerseys, and
he's up
served gruel.
Yeah, I mean, he gets up. I don't know. He gets up like a farmer at 5 a.m. I know he goes to bed early, but other than that, other than those wee hours, he spends his entire day. I don't even know if he has a job. I know what his job is, but I don't think he's really working. I think he's phoning it in because he's too busy being amazing at everything that the center has to offer, dedicating his life to it.
That's a career.
I know. Look,
he's a career center member.
He is. He's going to be. He's about to surpass LeVar as the second most, as winning the second most championships in center history. And
what did LeVar win championships in? Bowling.
He won the Fantasy Football League, and he won semi-cups.
All right.
Are we not counting the semi-cups? Yeah, what's a semi-cup? I've never heard of that. That's only the most prestigious award in the center. What is that?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, anyway, he's about to surpass him, and I think that I think that there's going to be a question as to who's the GOAT. I have this conversation with Geese all the time, and he's like, I don't care. But there's a question: is Geese the GOAT, or is Whalers going to be the GOATs when their careers are all said and done?
My career is already said and done, according to a lot of people.
All right, I'm gonna bounce off.
All right,
because I got a mediation I got to get ready for.
All right,
That
get
was
ready
me
for week
cross-examining Manny.
I know that was good practice. I was impressed. I finally saw. Maybe I saw why you're a millionaire. I'd still beat you in a trial, but
Stay near your bedroom or wherever the best Wi-Fi is for your mediation.
It's all good, man.
It's a mediation, not an arbitration, right?
And tell Scott Stein to play me in basketball one of these days.
He's been texting you to play you tonight. You were too busy doing this.
No, I said I would play him tonight. He said he's not available.
No, yeah,
You
right.
have the bandwidth to play basketball and be on the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you have enough. Like, your house would implode. Come on.
Yeah, I got the minutes plan.
Mm-hmm.
I got a
nights and
phone.
weekends. That's why you got to play so late because your nights and weekend plan doesn't.
I got
kick
to
in
play
until...
after 9 o'clock. That's when my phone line's for.
You got to save them.
I know.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
All right,
Later.
All right.
Peace out.
All right, so that is Eugene joining us on the program. Thanks for that. We're going to take a quick break. Start the show over for everybody else for wondering why it's all weird and in a weird order. That's why it was. Eugene had to join us then. And then everybody else came in the middle of the podcast. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Eugene interview. Okay, so quite a transaction. Whatever this week. So let's go to that right now. Okay. So let's see. Where is it? The recent change. So first of all, let's go to the free agent bids. So in terms of running backs, the number one is this. No, there couldn't have been. Okay. Interestingly enough, nobody bid on Mike Davis. That's except for Eugene. He actually just got him straight out. He was the only. He way overpaid for him. So Jarrell Henderson for $29, beating out the bid of 17, 15, and 5, awarded to the Whalers. The Hagglers got Ryan Tannehill for $20. Mike Gesicki for $20 as well, outbidding David Secret Crush. The Lightning runs in Hackettstown's finest. Mike Davis. Oh, no, here he was. I thought they did it in order of whatever. So Mike Davis, 59. Was the winning offer for him, awarded to Dave Secret Crush, 59, offered by the Whalers, 40 by the St. Louis Blues. Gronky Friedman offered 21, and the 1603ers offered 11. And then Gardner Minshew for $2, beating my offer of 0. Yep, fuck me. Oh, what happened with this? There's a message. I didn't even see it. Is these just the messages, or is
Yeah, we were chatting today.
Oh, look at that. Can we spy on this? Can we spy on your conversation? What's happening here? Let's look at what you guys said. You talking shit about me, or is this I don't even know. It's not even going to it. Whatever. I got on some weird page. I don't care. All right. I mean,
he told me he's looking for a wide receiver. If you can spare like an average running back or something, we can like discuss potential trades. So I was like, yeah, sure. I was at work, but I said, let's discuss it around 8:30, but he never responded.
Because he was too busy sifting through the garbage can for everybody else.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, because you just look, Whalers. So where is this? Whalers. I know there's a lot of earlier Whaler stuff too. There's a lot of Haggler stuff too.
He's got to do these transactions and sit on the couch playing video games. He's never on the podcast.
I know. I mean, didn't he? Where are we? We're Devonta Freeman early in the morning. So Are these still the money things? Yeah, because there is this one that
Does he have any free agent money left? I'd like to see after all these expenditures. What does Whalers actually have left?
We'll look at that in a second.
Benny Snell and Devontae Freeman.
Yeah, let's look at that in a second. So, okay.
It's a tad early to spend all of your money on week 2 and 3 players, but
where was the? I mean, okay, yeah, this one right here. So he drops Daniel Jones for Sterling Shepard, picks up Sterling Shepard, puts him on his IR, and then picks up Daniel Jones again. Only to drop Daniel Jones for Tom Brady later that day. I mean, he's been quite busy throwing Daniel Jones into the garbage bin all day. Also picking up injured players just so he can hoard them on his bench, which is why it looks like he has 9 players. He has no defense, no kicker for this week. You want to see how much money he has? Let's see how much money he has.
I look at it's $61 left.
All the good defenses are gone for this week.
So he can splurge on one more big name guy.
Wow.
That Benny Snell thing is starting to look like a questionable move.
Oh yes, this Snell cow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he pretty much got all of the. He was the one who got Freeman, right? He got Freeman and Henderson.
And Henderson, but also the Snell thing. I mean, he's down to $61, and everybody else is well over 100, except for Axtown. Fine, it's 105. So those are the 2 teams. I mean, that $90 purchase for Hines again.
Yeah.
I mean,
but even Whalers has outdone that.
With Snell? Yeah, I mean, they didn't even keep him. At least you're keeping your ketchup bottle.
You're keeping a ketchup bottle. The empty ketchup bottle.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, one thing I'll say is like that's the other thing. This year has been very different from past years. I feel like I've like responded to what past years have been like. I mean, because in the past nobody would spend any money. Like even the Blues are spending. I don't ever recall the Blues spending money on anything. He just let Cyberdyne do it. I mean, is Cyberdyne? Did they develop an app to just bid for you at this point? Because we know he's.
He spent $5. He made one move.
Yeah, but that's more than I've ever seen him do. I mean, Jim has not done anything. Lightning Rod's even got in on some action.
The wrong team. I'm sorry, $35. Yeah, 3 moves. There you go. Yeah, you're right. That was Lightning.
Meanwhile, Nick and Jamie still have $200. Why would they fill up anything with anything? With their super team that hasn't gotten over 100 yet this season.
Neither of them.
Well, but you at least are trying. Yeah, well, whatever. All right, where do we want to go? Is there anything else that you want to comment on the? I already did my rant on the quarterback stuff. I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, not really.
All right. We just kind of during the interview we already kind of went over this game. Yeah, Eugene should win this. I mean, I lost.
Play it safe by picking Eugene unanimously for the rest of the year.
Exactly. We're gonna pick Eugene and the over on Sanders, of course, naturally.
Mm-hmm. Sanders gets at least 20, averages 20.
Right. So I mean, yeah.
Put Eugene in a runaway.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we safe now? Am I good? Can I go on to the next game?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. We don't need to go over this anymore. Let's move on to the next one. Do we want to go on to the 2 of the 3 Hackettstown teams?
No, there's not 3. There's only
There's 2.
You have to keep correcting that all year long.
It's not Hackettstown, Rhode Island. It's Hackettstown, New Jersey.
Well, the Hackettstown's finest versus the Hackettstown Hagglers, not involving Gronky Friedman.
I've already said Manny has nothing to worry about. This is a trap game, though. You just have to pay attention, though.
It is. And it kind of scares me, the fact that the Hagglers have laid an egg the last 2 weeks. I think they're due for a bigger game in the hundreds, maybe.
It's funny. As the worse Cousins did, the more Cook's projections go up. At one point, they're going to have to just hand him the ball and be like, Kirk, just hand it off. Kirk.
It kind of pisses me off because we were discussing, fantasy football at work, and basically Geza took all my suggestions and just bid more than I did by like a couple dollars. Bid a little bit more for
Tannehill was
Gesicki.
one of them.
He bid a little bit more for the Indy defense. So
Did you
much
bid-
so that I offered him a trade for the Indy defense for
Mhm.
James White, which he denied.
So much so that James White had to be dropped from your team.
Yeah, exactly. That's how valuable he was to you because God forbid anybody in this league ever
Was that
have somebody.
the Shafto trade? He was so good, so good for your team that you dropped him.
That's the thing. That's the other thing that I've discovered about this league. If you want somebody, just tell them no. They'll be in the garbage can tomorrow. None of these people keep it.
Mm-hmm.
At what point? At some point, Minshew is going to have to be dropped in the garbage can, or Burrow. One of them. He's not going to be able to sustain it. So my answer is no. I will pick him up out of the garbage can. Look, I'll give you a half-eaten bologna sandwich that I pick up out of the garbage can if you want. But otherwise, yeah, no, I don't. Why? Were you going to bid on Tannehill?
Yeah, I like Tannehill.
Were you going to bid on him with this team or the other one?
Neither this week.
I like how long it took you to answer that. All right. Exhibit A, Your Honor. Okay, so I'll let you guys go over what you think is going to happen in this game.
Well, I'll let the favored team make the call here. I'll sprinkle in commentary as we go along.
All right. So I think Mahomes is going to have a big game. I think that game is going to be a shootout on Monday night. I just hate having players go on Monday night, because it's just very stressful, especially if the game is close. I like Metcalf and Carson for Seattle against Dallas. I think that's another shootout, to be honest with you. Edelman against Vegas. I hope he, keeps up what he did with Cam last week. Hines, just a terrible performance last week. Taylor's been getting a lot of the touches, but it's just hard not to play him against the Jets with that matchup. But I do have Robinson also there. And then I have, if I decide to play Robinson as my RB2, I have certain guys I can play at the flex. I like Sanders, although I've been disappointed with Drew Brees. I think he looked old in that Monday night game. But without Michael Thomas, it might be a good play. John Brown, also, he's been pretty solid for me also last year when I had him. So, I'm thinking things through, but I'm going to play Robinson this week as he's been good. My guys, I don't really see a standout star, but I like that it's kind of a deep team and it's kind of a well-rounded group who can, each guy can give me 10 plus points a week. So that's my take. As far as Gaza's team, I like the Gesicki pickup a lot. I like Tannehill pickup a lot. Michael Thomas not being there, really helps me.
Obviously.
Melvin Gordon might have a decent game. Indy defense against the Jets, I'm just worried that they're going to go for 35 points, and that really puts me in a hole because defenses against bad teams have done that in the past. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But otherwise, I think I'm a solid favorite. I have to pick myself, but I think it's going to be closer than the projections indicate.
Actually, I'm shocked at how close the projections are. But anyway, Geese, go ahead.
Yeah, that's pretty close. I like that fact that he's playing Hines. Hopefully, he doesn't have to catch up late in the series. Again, Cook. I hope that just the quarterbacks are the killer for my two running backs. Just at some point, the coaches have to understand. Just put it in the hands of the running backs, and we have a chance. Gesicki. Miami's a dumpster fire, but he's actually the only one doing anything out there. Golden Tate, hopefully with Saquon injured and Devontae Freeman, it's going to take weeks and weeks to get a hold of the playbook, unless you want to just run it up the middle. Hopefully he'll get some touches. Crosby, I don't care about the kicker in the defense. Sammy Watkins, I don't know what to do about him. That's going to be a problem unless –
What's the rule?
Well, never. What what's the official term? You don't wear white after Labor Day,
Right.
and you don't play Watkins after week 2 in fantasy football because he's horrible. All right, and then Tannehill. Hopefully, we'll get 2 firsts. If we don't get 2 firsts, we're screwed. We're screwed. We're going to be an 0-3 start. So I told Manny he has nothing to worry about, but this is a trap game, so he better be careful. So, if there's anything out of character towards the end, just sweating it out, tossing and turning, but he should have this one in the bag.
Yeah. So I actually think, all right, you look at this. I think Tannehill actually keeps up with Mahomes. Minnesota is horrific, and yes, you can get 2 firsts to Corey Davis. I think that's going to buffer some right there. Edelman is still going to do really well. I agree with you on Metcalf. I think that game is going to shoot out. Mahomes, like I said, I think he's going to maybe match Tannehill. I don't know. I mean, watching that Baltimore game like last week, I don't know if it's all, it might just be a boring snooze fest. I don't know. We'll see. Cook will do well. I mean, look, your running backs have done well with absolute dog shit. So I think they'll continue to do about that well. Yeah, I mean, if Hines is in there, that certainly makes this a much closer prospect. I mean, basically, if Geese can figure out a substitution for Watkins, then I might even consider him if you play Hines. Hunter Henry versus Gesicki, good matchup there. You're playing Robinson finally, so that's good too. Of course, you're making the classic mistake of putting in flex, but whatever, no comment. Prater and
I'm going to tell him out of courtesy. Classic coaching mistake. Never, ever, ever play your flex on Thursday. The flex is your backup emergency option. Always save that game for the later thing. So shift him into the running back 1 or 2, and then put one of the other running backs in the flex.
Usually the latest playing
don't
running
try
backs.
your flex on Thursday because now you're fucked.
Yeah.
So, nice gentlemanliness there. But other than that, yeah, I mean, if Geese can address his wide receiver 1 problem and really can get a couple more 2 firsts than he needs.
Yeah, I can address it. It's called Michael Thomas. Where is this man? It can be addressed. It's just going to be not this week, unfortunately.
I know.
You can't have to field these issues.
Well, I'm talking about and predicting this week's games, in which case I'm going to pick Hackett Sounds Finest in this. So you're picking yourself?
No,
I am.
I'm picking Manny.
I am.
I'm picking Manny. I'm done picking myself. We're 0-2, scoring 90 points a game. Pick that.
All right, so it's unanimous. We're all picking
Manny on this one.
And thank you for your gentleman advice.
You're welcome.
In fact, he's doing it right. He literally went to go get
On the podcast.
on the podcast. I can refresh this window.
Like literally right now. I'm just saying.
God. All right. Moving on, let's just go down the line. Lightning Rods versus Tilla-Trey team. This presents an interesting case. So we kind of looked at this already. We don't know if they're going to play. Drew Brees versus Green Bay. I mean, theoretically, that's a game that's going to shoot out, but I don't know anymore with how New Orleans is doing. Plus, they do a lot of weird stuff to Taysom Hill, and I don't know about that team. Yeah, if he doesn't have any wide receivers, that's going to be a problem, Bob. David Johnson is going against a tough Pittsburgh team. Tariq Cohen didn't really do anything. He's playing against Atlanta, and then Atlanta just gives up points. So maybe there's something there for him. Font has been good. I mean, and I think he'll do fine against Tampa Bay. Frank Gore, oh my God, what did he get? 2.4 and 6.3. Jeez. Yeah, I feel so bad for Tiller. Does he even have anything on the bench? Doubtful, questionable. He's turning into the Wakanda of this league this season.
Look at all that.
I mean, of course, he has a backup quarterback because everybody has to have a backup quarterback. You got to have your backup quarterback. So, you know, and then the Baltimore, he's got a backup defense too. Woo. Why address? Why address the needs when you can hold on to quarterbacks and your backup defense? Why would you? Okay, the lightning rods have Russell Wilson, who's been amazing. Odell Beckham actually had a decent game last week. Did he have? I don't think he had one. How was he in week 1? He sucked in week 1, right? Yeah, 5.2. Allen Robinson, they're playing against Atlanta. I think it's, if he's going to do well, this is going to be the game. Edwards-Helaire, I'm going to play on that Monday night game. I actually think that he will do well. I think that, that's going to be a run-heavy kind of script. Kareem Hunt has been really good so far, if I'm not mistaken, 12 and 24. O.J. Howard, what's going on there? 13 and 2.
2. Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no. Smith-Schuster, 24 and 11. I mean, that's, double digits both times. Their line has been good. He won that game for them. And the Tennessee defense going against Minnesota. I mean, that's a good play. And to have the Tennessee defense,
Yeah, unfortunately for my team.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I would change my prediction if Adams and Jones play, or I would consider changing. I still don't. No, I'm not
putting in case they don't play. What's it look like down there?
It looks.
Let's go down to the nether regions. What's the bench look like?
I mean, Crowder. What did Clam Crowder do?
Jameson Crowder's out too.
I mean, they're all out. Perriman's out. He's a wide receiver. I mean, yeah. Crowder.
I'm sorry, son. The wide receiver market's pretty tapped too. By the way, you're pretty late to the party.
I know, but at least he has a backup QB. Everybody has to have a backup QB, so at least he has that. That's secure. And a backup defense, like I said.
So he's going to replace questionable and questionable with questionable and questionable.
Or doubtful. Maybe he could replace questionable and questionable for questionable and doubtful. Or maybe he could try to shove in a second quarterback there. No, he's really a receiver, ref.
Ooh, that is still a better.
Get
to work.
Yeah. The lightning rods are. The lightning rods are going to win this game. I just think that he's. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else not picking the lightning rods?
You have to because all 4 wide receivers are questionable. The 2 people you'll sub in are both questionable as well.
Yeah.
There's some questionable coaching going on here. Is he awake? There's $200 to spend.
I don't know what to say. Yeah. Something needs to be done there. All right. Lightning rods win that one. Oh, wow. You play Nick 2 weeks in a row right here. Gronky Friedman versus the Zamunda Lions.
Friedman.
I mean, this is your game. I'll let you go over it.
No, you go.
Nick Friedman.
Yeah. You want me to go? All right, I'll go over the game. Let's see. So Jared Allen versus the Rams. I mean, he's been really good. I mean, of course, if he doesn't want to go with him, who else does he have available?
At least he doesn't blatantly trade between his own teams and just warehouse back and forth.
I know. That's the only thing. Once you do that, then I'm really calling some bullshit. Once I start seeing them swap out.
300-point games as they swap players.
What is that? Well, I think this team has a better chance. I'm gonna swap out some.
The first ever trade back and forth again in the same season.
I know.
Oh, it's your bye week? You can have him back. I don't need him this week.
Is it collusion if it's yourself?
That's the thing. It can't be.
And I'm the commissioner, so
I know.
What do you want?
Well, yeah. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't it funny? Donkey Kong was the first to pay his league dues.
I know. Paid him before he was even made up.
Yeah.
I mean, in the league. That's what I meant. Thielen. Yeah. I mean, so here's the problem for Thielen. Yeah. There's nobody else there. Kirk Cousins sucks. There's nobody else there.
Look, the problem that he's going to have with Thielen is the problem I'm having with Thielen. Kirk Cousins just throws interceptions or gets sacked. That's the problem. You can't. You have to have a quarterback. The quarterback has to be able to do something.
Maybe Gronky can lend Minnesota some quarterbacks because he has plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. Like week 1, Thielen got like a massive amount of points. What was it? It was 31. And then the next week, they just said, "Oh wait, why don't we just cover that guy?" And then the entire offense shut down. T.Y. Hilton, has he done anything? Did he do anything? I mean, 9.3 and then 5.8.
They love Cox now. Phillip Rivers loves himself some Cox. So Hilton's screwed.
Yeah. So
big on Cox.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in that order.
Would you like some ketchup with your Cox?
Yeah. That's his new favorite guy.
He's going to Taylor. He's going to Cox. Like T.Y. Hilton's not doing. I mean, like Paris Hilton's. I mean, what was it? Yeah.
Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton. He's out. Paris Campbell. He's out. Yeah. Brittany.
And Gurley couldn't pick a worse team than the three-headed monster going on in Atlanta right now.
What did he do? 6.1.
Oh, 6 points. On how many carries? What was that? Go back to that. 6 points on.
I don't care that it's in a dome. Let me know. Let me see the stats. So 21 attempts for 61 yards.
21 carries.
And by the way, the week before was 56 yards. But I mean, like he got 13.70 points, but that's with a touchdown. So it's basically the same kind of performance.
Once he got paid, that's what happens to people.
Yeah, exactly. You've been saying that. Nick Chubb, who's actually been good, or what for 1 week.
But you got to watch out for Hunt moving forward.
Yeah, that's two.
Catch it, but it's your rival, Manny.
Yeah, it's true.
You can't have Hines and Hunt on the same team. Too many condiment items.
Yeah, I know.
Your vendor's full.
Waller. Yeah, I mean we were.
On those
28 for Waller. Oh my goodness.
Those condiments.
Oh my goodness.
Half of the Allen brothers.
Oh yeah, there's Nick's favorite guy.
Yeah, so 16.8, whatever. Tucker 11 into Tampa Bay defense playing at Denver. For Zamunda, who's coming off the 200-point win.
Zamunda is playing the exact same lineup, I believe. It looks like everybody's the same. The exact identical except for
Why would you not after getting that?
Football team.
Well, yeah, except for the football team. So Kyler Murray versus Detroit, I think he'll do well there. Cooper Kupp was the one questionable mark. He was the one who got under his projection by a point. So, I mean, he might be riding the pine soon. Calvin Ridley, now with Julio Jones out, probably will do even better in the Chicago game. As Ezekiel Elliott playing in the Seattle game. Kamara versus Green Bay. Jonnu Smith at oh my God! I mean, like he could get 300 points this week. This is ridiculous. I'm clearly picking Zamunda in this one. I see no way around it. I mean.
That'll be my second team. No, they'll be Gronky Kong.
You're gonna pick Gronky Kong?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna pick Zamunda on this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No
doubt.
All right. So then moving down the line, the Garbage Barge versus the Mighty Whalers rematch of the first ever championship game. So, with all of the moves that Whalers has done, what has he gotten himself? He's netted himself 111.50 projection to 128.09 to the Garbage Barge. Now, here's the thing. Because he's hoarding so many players, he doesn't have a defense or a kicker, so he'll pick some of them up. So, be prepared to sift through the garbage can as these guys get dropped. I mean, clearly he's going to drop Snell. He just doesn't want to do it before the podcast. He said because he doesn't want the mocking of it.
3.84 points. That's his projection.
Yes, it's his projection. I mean, for $51. The funniest thing will be, though, if he actually does drop him, he had negative 0.9. He actually cost him
He lost money, literally.
He lost 50. We spent $51 on a guy that lost him points. He could have spent $51 to just have zero, but no, he had to go in the backwards direction.
He can't delete $51 from his payroll and save points.
Exactly.
He could have had a loss prevention issue, lost $51 from his payroll, and still made out.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. So he'll drop Snell. I mean, the funniest thing will be when Connor injures himself right after he drops Snell, and he has to go pick him up again for another $51.
That's the problem. He has a volatile, injury-prone offense.
I know. I mean, isn't Kittle out too? Or what's going on there?
Kittle might be coming back. That's one of the.
I heard he's like a game time decision for week.
Yeah, it's like the worst. All right.
He'll get injured again against the Giants because of that turf.
Is there something going on with the turf? I keep hearing you guys talk about that. I don't even. I certainly did not watch the Jets.
Yeah,
games.
I think the Jets and the Giants, they have programmed their field to have crappy turf, so they just all their players get injured and they can tank and get a higher draft pick.
Are they programmed? Well, that's a more ridiculous conspiracy theory than thinking that Gronky Kong doesn't exist. Do you think they did that in Chicago?
Well, I mean, I'm not. Well, the Niners were actually legit complaining about.
Were they? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of their key guys got hurt.
I mean, if you look, I saw the Bosa one. I mean, his leg got caught under his. It was the way that he fell. I saw on that.
Yeah, but the team was blaming the turf. It's probably just fluke things. We're just joking around. But,
right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, all right. So Whalers. I mean, he has Devonta Freeman. He's not going to play yet. Did we go through this line? Okay. So Roethlisberger versus Houston. I mean, in a matchup. I mean, I don't think that Tom Brady's much better. Tyler Lockett versus Dallas. He'll do well there. Slayton, I mean, I guess. I mean, they have to pass to somebody, right? Theoretically. I mean, he survived 6.30 points though last week. Eckler finally bounced back in the game last week, 18.8. None of that on a touchdown, 93 yards. Connor, he showed up as well. He showed up as Snell, 20.10. He picked up Hayden Hurst out of my garbage bin. Everybody, if you drop somebody, just assume they're going to go to the Whalers at this point. He had 18.20 points last week.
Yeah, but he can't have that much room on his. He has how many? He's 2 over right now because one's IR.
One IR.
You can drop some juicy players. He can't. He has no more room. The computer just won't let 100 people overboard, over the limit, right? I mean, he has to do something. I mean, when does the computer actually step in and be like, no, you have too many players? Right? Because he got 6 and then one's IR, so 8. So
game time. I mean, he could theoretically go without a defense
theoretically, when he goes to pick up his kicker and his defense, it'll flag him that
he'll have to drop somebody. Right. But who's he going to drop? I mean, he'll drop
Traquan Smith and then probably Snell.
Well, he's definitely dropping Snell. Yeah, I would imagine because he just paid money for Freeman and Henderson, so he's definitely keeping them.
He's not going to drop Kittle. I mean, that's way too valuable.
Yeah, I know.
Freeman, he just paid a fortune for.
I mean, Traquan Smith had 13.6 points last week. I mean, you could pick up your Michael Thomas right there to beat him. You just be on those alerts for when it happens. Sifting through the garbage can. All right, on the other side of the ball, Nick and Jamie, Deshaun Watson at Pittsburgh, tough matchup there. Tyreek Hill at Baltimore, I think that's a tough matchup as well. Michael Gallup, who has not been, I mean, I think the matchup is good, but I don't think Michael Gallup has been, the better receiver there. I mean, he only had 8 and 7.8. I mean, he was a bust. Drake's Cakes versus Detroit. He's at least getting double digits. Mixon, he's been a blah. Ertz, who's, according to Godert.com, he's not as good. Miller, this is the Anthony Miller on Chicago, 17.6 and a
A goose egg.
That's quite a fall off.
Yeah, San Francisco defense and Butker.
Well, how many points did Butker get? He must have had like 20.
No, he only had 13.
That's it? With all those field goals? 250 plus?
58 yards. You only get 5 points.
Yeah, so that makes it 10, and then he had the 3 for the regular field goal.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. I mean, they have.
He missed the extra point.
Yeah, maybe.
What was the, like 7-6 or something?
They only have one bench spot because Whalers is overloaded. So technically, they can only have.
No, he's got 2 bench spots right here, I think, right? No?
He's
over.
Match one, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No.
That's none, actually.
Yeah, they have no bench
No
spots. I know, it's just.
It's misleading. They're not actually looking for anybody.
I was going to say, you have so much bench. They
They're
literally.
just playing a player who's just whacked out carrying 100 people on his roster illegally. So it looks like they can actually match him. Oh, look at these people that they can pick up. Actually, no, they can't.
Why don't you just transfer them from that side to the other side because they can pick them up as they drop them to play against them.
Right.
Oh my god!
What is going on in this league?
No.
People have hundreds of people on their bench. People have nobody. Hundreds of empty spots, but really they don't because they can't. They're at the limit. I can't make heads or tail of the bench.
Well, look at what defenses and kickers are available. I wonder who the.
At this point,
You want me to actually? I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to hoard defenses too. It's all ridiculous. The defenses that are available. What do you want? What do you want to see?
Let's see the defenses that are available. I think they're all gone.
Millers has to pick up one, so let's just preview who he has left.
So we're gonna do projection for this week, I'm assuming, or something like that. Let's see. Filter. Is that this week? Green Bay versus Atlanta. Wow, that's not a good project. I'm sorry, Atlanta gives it up.
Yeah.
Like it's prom night. Seattle at Miami. No, wait, that's not this week. What's going on?
Yeah, you pick week 4.
Oh, week 4. Sorry. Week 3 is what I need. Okay, this is better. All right. Cleveland versus the football team. Philadelphia versus Cincinnati. I don't really feel. I mean, this 2-2.
2-2.
1-3.
In projections, come on.
These are the high 6 and -1.
-1. All right, and you're third on the list.
Yeah.
All right, enough of this.
Buffalo 8-1. Okay, yeah. I think yeah. There's no.
Nothing
I don't know. Okay. So who are we picking in this ridiculous game? This is the most ridiculous game I think I've ever seen so far.
This is really a tough one. Whalers, both teams are reeling.
I mean, if Kittle plays and then, is effective, because that's a good matchup that the Niners have. I mean, despite their decimated offense.
He's got Hayden Hurst. Why does he even need to put him in there?
He's going to need a Hurst after that game. So the team that's 1-2 in this one is going to really be way ahead of the 0-3 team. 0-3 team right now is basically finished.
Yeah.
Unless Whalers just pulls out the bamboo rods.
I don't know. I'd have to go with the Whalers here.
I do too, actually. I'm looking at this. I have to.
Yeah, Whalers might be the team, but never count out the love boat. The lost boat. They can really turn it up. If Whalers goes 0-3, watch out. Your phone's going to be blowing up.
Yeah.
Look, he's got 111 to his 128, and he doesn't have a kicker or a defense. I mean, you add that, you figure who's playing on Monday night? You might just pick him up on Monday night, see if he needs him. As a per, on a necessary basis.
Monday night is Ravens Chiefs.
Well, Tucker's definitely picked up already, and
yeah,
so is Butker. So
playing Butker.
Yeah. So yeah, he's playing. That would be ironic if he loses to the kicker that he's playing. I just don't see it in Nick and Jamie's team. I don't know why they keep getting these 128 projections when they don't even get 100. I just don't.
I mean, Tyreek Hill could go for, 35, 40 points. If he gets even like 3 catches, he'll go for like 30 points.
Sure, but I mean, like Miller, I mean, well, he's playing Atlanta. I mean, Gallup is good for single digits.
Yeah, I mean, it's the definition of an team.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I've said all along, I think that Weathers will be there. I don't think he's there yet, but I think this is going to be the springboard. I think that he will cobble together enough in this game. I mean, because the problem is that Freeman doesn't know the offense at all, so he can't play him yet. And I mean, you could put in Darrell Henderson. I don't know. He keeps shopping around. David Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery wasn't bad last week.
No, he's playing Atlanta. I don't know. I got to pick the Whalers in this. I mean,
Lockett will be good. I don't think Clayton will be good. Although now without Barkley, they're going to be throwing the ball probably more.
I guess.
Lewis gets a ton of carries.
I guess. I don't know. And then I don't know who's going to be. I don't know. I'm going to pick the Whalers for this one.
Kittle. We can play Kittle and Hurst.
You could.
Options.
Yeah. I'm going to go with I'm still going to go with Whalers.
Yeah.
I just don't think that Nick and Jamie's team is good enough.
Agreed.
Okay. That moves us to Cyberdyne versus Wakanda. This was the game where this was a really exciting game last year, and then that was the start of Wakanda having all of those injuries. So we got Lamar versus Casey on the Monday night. Stephon Diggs versus the Rams. Finally, maybe Galladay makes an appearance, in which case he plays at Arizona, which could be, theoretically a good game for him. Derrick Henry at Minnesota. I mean, if Henry's going to bounce back, this is going to be the game because Minnesota's terrible. Taylor at the versus the Jets, excuse me. That's a great matchup for him there. Higbee at Buffalo, I think, and he's playing. He's going with the jumbo package. Ali Cox, he's going to go with him at the Jets, and then the kicker Gonzalez and the Chargers defense. And we already looked at his team. He's got Boyd and Deshaun Jackson and Snead and all these guys. Debo Samuel picked up. All right, whatever. For Cyberdyne, it is Goff at Buffalo. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. DeAndre Hopkins versus Detroit. Amari Cooper at Seattle. McKinnon at the Giants. Deion Lewis. So he's playing Deion Lewis. See, I think actually Deion Lewis will have the – yeah, I think that this is the week that Deion Lewis will do well before Freeman takes over. Andrews versus KC. I think he'll have a bounce back game there. And then Mike Evans at Denver. I think that's a good play. Oh, man, this is actually finally we have a good game. So the projection is 130.63 to 132.86 in favor of Dr. Hockey. I
like Wakanda in this game.
I kind of do too. Yeah, I mean,
Henry and Taylor will both be good.
Yeah, I think these are the games that they're good. Diggs has been really good. I think Galladay, it's maybe a question mark. Even his jumbo package will be fine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Wakanda as well.
Chargers actually played good D against the Chiefs and playing Carolina. That.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be ripe for some turnovers there. I mean they only got 2 points last week, but yeah, Carolina's definitely going to be ready to be turning over the ball.
Without McCaffrey now. So.
Yeah, I know. And I don't think that Mike Davis is going to be that great a replacement, which is why Eugene isn't even playing him. Yeah. All right. So is Geese still not there to take or to give us his opinion about this game? I guess not. All right. Well, that's it for those games. All right. Well, let's do segment that we have forgotten to do in a while. Let's do our lock of the week and the upset of the week. Who do you go with your lock of the week? I think I'm not going to like the answer to this.
Don't want to jinx it. Actually, lock of the week might be Dave's Secret Crush against you.
I said I'm not going to like it. Exactly. That's what I was saying. I'm not going to like your choice. Yeah, I think it's almost you have to go for lock of the week. Maybe Zamunda. They're just so good.
Yeah, they are good. But Geza said they're like 1 or 2 injuries away from being like the rest of us.
Sure.
You know? And their bench is not that strong. So if they do have those injuries,
Yeah, but when I pick my lock, I'm choosing it generally based on we're doing lock of the week.
Exactly. I understand.
I mean, it's a toss-up between Dave Secret Crush and Zamunda in my eyes. Who do you go with your lock of the week, Keys?
The way Zamunda's been playing, it's hard to not pick Nick. I mean, he's deserved lock of the week nomination. 201. I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Eugene just to fight off the inevitable complaints. Upset of the week. The team that's projected to win that you think is most likely to upset the other team.
Probably the the Whalers didn't pick a defense or a kicker, so that's not really an accurate projection.
I thought it's accurate enough. I mean, I don't see any other. I mean, till it's lower, I don't think. I think Lightning Rod's going to win there. I think. I mean, I don't. I mean, the
honest.
The
Hagler's beating me.
Probably not. Is that team the new Baltimore? The one we can't speak of.
Baltimore.
Dare I pick it up there, or should I?
The Voldemorts.
The Voldemorts.
Yeah, I do you dare pick him to lose in an upset again?
This podcast, I dare not speak of Voldemort. Let's go else.
I mean, I don't think it's acceptable to not pick Dave's Secret Crush after the crow that we've had to eat this week. In fact, he might just be my lock of the week every week.
He's so secret that he shall not be named.
He might be Dave's lock of the week.
Mm-hmm. That's even better. That should be his team name next year. Dave's lock of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta go with that. All right. Oh wait, so we're going. Wait, I'm going with for the upset. I'm going with the Whalers. I'm just still going to count it just based on what it is now. And for the lock of the week, I think I'm going to go with Dave's lock of the week.
Yeah, I agree. Dave's lock of the week locks it up.
All right.
Lock of the week.
What's that?
Are we booking that Sanders is going to have more than 20 points?
Oh, we know he is every week.
Every week.
Every week. He's that's what we said. Sanders.
He doesn't need 20. He just has to average 20. I'm still putting him over 20.
Of course, yeah. I mean, he's like the Mason Dixon line, the Sanders 20.
I'll predict a mild ankle sprain for him.
Well, but I mean, then that would discount what he said because he said if he remains healthy. So,
yeah.
he did put an asterisk in there.
Injuries, but let's not root for injuries on this team.
Yeah, no. In order to win, you need to have him perform poorly and remain healthy.
Yes.
Perform okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, in terms of other center news, before we go, just a reminder to anybody who's interested in the Center Golf Association tour that starts next week, next Thursday. So it's being played in the PlayStation 4 PGA 2K1. You don't have to play all season, unlike some of the other leagues. You could just kind of go in when you want. But if you want to be a contender, the more tournaments you play in, the better. It's really easy. You can do it at your leisure. You don't have to, coordinate a time with anybody else. Yeah, I mean, other than that, Basement Basketball Association continues to roll along, and I highly recommend watching some Grenaders, Hackettstown's Grenaders games on Twitch. They're some of the best commentary that you'll find in the league.
Only commentary.
I might start. I'll commentate my game. Who am I playing this week? I'm playing you, Manny, right?
Did you post a schedule?
Of course I did.
I'll check it out. We'll play at some point.
Yes. All right.
Have a good week, guys, and good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck, everybody. Until next week, good luck this week. Bye.